Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cryptic Heartland, episode number 140. I'm one of your hosts, Leo Fernandez. Sorry. Oh, we're behind. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where the screen was. One screen was black. I apologize, people. I promise you I'm not an amateur at this. Well, maybe I am. But anyway, I'm one of the hosts, Leo Fernandez, of course, and across from me is Andy.
Hi,
And
y'all.
the ghost next to her is nobody, and nobody on the left. No, Dan's running a little bit behind, and he'll be here just shortly. So, and Jason's out, like I said, like a full Andy. He's out graduating, or maybe he's out of graduation. So, it is that time of year, but he's graduating, getting married, having some fun, and yeah, that's what they're doing. So,
Everybody's getting busier this time of
whoa.
year.
Oh, not that type of busy. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Except for
Boo.
us, right?
Well, we're working hard over here while everybody else is slacking off. So, but no, thank you guys for tuning in this evening. We're gonna have some fun, hopefully tonight again, like we always do, and appreciate you guys' comments. All you guys tuning in. I see Barb, Latasha, Heath, and Marla, and everybody else. Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna talk about some things. And hey, Bree. We're talking about Andy's trip. She got to go to down south a little bit. She would hit a couple different cities, and we're going to talk about some of her adventures and something she may or may not have saw. We'll see what
Yeah.
she can tell us about. And
Had a lot happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
some stuff happened. But
right. Anyway, we'll have some fun with that, and we'll see what else we can come up with tonight. Because we try to have a game plan going into a lot of these shows and everything, and then next thing you know, we get off on a tangent, which is a great tangent. Because it seemed like hey Carl. Seems like a lot of the stuff we come up with, even on the fly, and then turns into more conversations. Next thing I know, I'm like, man, but we didn't talk about the subject matter at hand, but that's okay.
it keeps it interesting, and
Yeah.
it's good to see different point of views from everything we come up with and talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the viewers chiming in with their stories and everything, and their experiences and stuff like that, because that helps us come with some different angles and thoughts we didn't think about, maybe, or just subject matter for that matter.
Yeah.
For
And I
that
love it
reason.
when we show the videos and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like viewers might pick up something that we don't see
Yeah.
when we're all watching it together, and I love
Definitely.
that different aspect, that more eyes catching things.
Exactly. Yep, I agree with that. So, all right. So away we go. First of all, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
It's been good.
You're
It's
still
been
traveling. Is what it sounds like.
crazy. Started a new job a month ago,
Nice.
and then my trip right before that, and
Yep.
my niece graduated last week, and my heart wasn't ready for that, but it's been kind of steady, and glad to be back home. And
Yeah.
how about you? Been
Busy, working, and we talked about, like I told you earlier, my son was playing basketball tournaments all weekend, and every weekend he has a tournament. So my weekends are full right now, which is fine. Did get a chance to do a small little ghost hunt Friday night, just for a birthday party. So
yeah.
nice. People having some ghost activity going on. So, well, that's funny you say that. Latasha said her ghost just knocked things off off my mirror. Can't wait for you guys to come through Lamar. Well, yeah, we definitely want to get out there. I know we talked to you before about that, so hopefully we can find a time and come visit. So, which was funny as Andy got here. Usually she gets in about the same time the guys get in, and like I said, Jason's not here, Jake's not here, and Dan's on his way. He said as you can see in the comments. But Ann and I were just having a conversation outside of the studio and stuff upstairs, and next thing I know, I hear these kids' voices coming through, and there's nobody here except for her and I. And I'm looking at her, I was like, "Did you hear that?" She didn't hear it.
And my hearing is bad sometimes.
Yeah,
But
I was just like, I don't know who it was. I couldn't tell what they were saying. I can't remember. We were talking about something related to paranormal, and next thing I know, the
Yeah.
voices just started coming through, and I'm just like looking around, like, who's talking here?
Yeah.
I thought it was your phone at first, but then your phone went off later on, and it wasn't the same thing. So, yeah. So the spirits are aware, people.
you definitely got stuff going on here.
Oh yeah, there's stuff happening in the studio, outside the studio. I know, right? They want to be on the show. They do. Yeah, people at home listen, because there's stuff we don't hear all the time. The mics are they're hot. I mean, so you hear things consistently. Like I tell people, all the ghost hunting equipment's in this closet right next to me, and it's been, God, over 15 years of investigating places. So there's a lot of stuff probably attached to this. I'm not surprised by that at all. But yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to see or happen on the show.
Yeah, because I know when I was listening before I joined the team, people would comment they heard stuff that you guys have heard or didn't hear, and so you never know what's going to happen.
Yep, you never know what you're going to see, find out, and hear. I think Dan just got in, so he's walking in. So he'll be here down here in just a second. We'll start talking about tonight's subject and other things here pretty quick once Dan gets it situated here. Hopefully all people at home are having some fun. I see Latasha's having fun in her house. But, and I know some of the, I want to get some of you guys on the show as viewers or I guess guests, because some of you guys have stories to tell too, especially about some of the subject matter like aliens and stuff we talked about to ghosts. So we definitely want to hear your stories.
Yes.
Oh, there's a voice that
You're
came in.
looking all beachy, Dan man.
Well, thank you.
Watch your feet, sir. Don't fall. He's coming in here. Once Dan gets, like I said, situated.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Do it.
I'm just going to have a seat here in a minute.
How's it going?
Good.
Your shirt's going to clap. No, your shirt's actually... I thought I was going to fight the cameras tonight. Nope, it's good.
So. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that shit.
Oh, my God. So, we haven't really started talking about subject matter yet. We were just kind of just getting into some things. And
we're waiting for you.
Yeah. Yep. Waiting for you to arrive. And like I said, away we'll go. I got to work with Dan Friday night. We did a small birthday party for a 16-year-old. And through Ghost Tours of Kansas, they asked us to come out and just kind of show them around, give them,
Oh, yeah.
And it was
good times.
Interesting. Some weird stuff happened. Some new things happened along the way, and it's good to see all aspects of life. Because we had some. I can't tell how long the younger kids were. I want to say maybe 10, maybe
10, 11 years
maybe
old,
more than that. But they seemed like they were having some good interaction with things, but they were also kind of losing interest pretty quick because they wanted to play pranks on their friends or their sisters and stuff, whatever. But we kept it pretty calm for the most part, but. Seemed like the guests had a good time. We had some things happen that surprised me. Some things caught on video, even maybe, and just some voices and whatnot. And
doors shutting on their own.
Yeah, we had a door slam. Yeah, and which happened there, the same location before. The place we're talking about is the salon where Lena, our friend Lena Townsend, likes to go in and do her readings. Place is haunted. We were getting a good interaction with possibly a cowboy ghost there, which we know resides there, so we'll say.
I love that place, especially the first time back in December when Lena was here and getting to talk to her and figuring out who all is there that we thought might be there. It was good to have that information. So.
Yep. So, and that's the place, God, the very first time I was ever there, we were there for a reason because the local news around here, KSN News, needed a Halloween story, and they reached out to us and said, hey, it was like less than a week, like, hey, we want to film you guys for a ghost story. Can you give us a place to get into? We're like, we're scrambling. Luckily, Jason had some friends that own this. It's a salon, like I said, and it's in the historic downtown Delano area where the Old West was, the red light district kind of a thing. And they had told us some of the claims that they had experienced a cowboy. They've seen him, in full daylight, whatever, this cowboy. They've also seen a woman walking around and whatnot, and we were able to pretty much have the same experiences. I mean, I was going live on Facebook that night as they were shooting another part of the building, and I was just had a laser grid set up and just kind of talking to whoever's back there. And for some reason, I was drawn to the back of the building. It seemed like it has a higher EMF back there, which I know some of that area in this one office area is because of the. I forgot Friday night. The breaker boxes. There you go. I'm like, what are the damn things called? The breaker boxes. So, I tend to err on the side of caution. I was like, if people tell me if they have any experiences right there, I'm like, well, it's a high EMF. You hear about on the ghost shows, they call it a fear cage because it's just EMF resonating everywhere you go. But it also can stir up things. I mean, you're getting a high level of energy. So our buddy Carl, I remember him when the first time I met Carl. He's on the chat tonight too. I see him. Hey, David. Down in the Dodge Theater, the Dodge Santa Fe Depot. He works in an area, his office was on the second floor, where he sat in a high area of EMF. Mm-hmm. which I was like, when I first met Carl, I was like, oh, well, you know, my first initial skepticism, I can't say the word, was, well, he sits in this high area. Of course he's going to have paranormal experiences, maybe not feel well, kind of that thing, feel a little jittery because of that. Well, we'll find out everything he was telling us, you know, we were able to document and capture with the little girl ghost on the second floor and things like that, so.
Go, Carl.
So, I understand, Carl. That's how I was feeling Friday night. I had to get up early Saturday morning.
Party animal.
So, yeah. But, so yeah, it can have a paranormal. It's kind of like the whole, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, people sleep.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis,
yes.
yeah. Yes, it is your body's natural reaction of trying to wake up. You know, your brain hasn't woke fully up, whatever, your body hasn't, you know, but your eyes are awake, and you see people have the same experiences. I can't breathe, I'm trying to scream, trying to do whatever, trying to yell out for my companion or whoever, and feel like I'm getting held down. I see a shadow person, whatever. Yes, that is all true. I mean, but I read a lot of studies on it, and they say that's one of the higher chances you have to see paranormal. So what you're seeing may be real, but it's also scientifically explained, but it's still a thing. So
right, you know, I mean, I have sleep paralysis several times a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how it goes.
yeah.
But can I say that all of them are paranormal related? No, not every one of them. But I do have several that, hey, there's something around my legs or there's something on top of me. I mean, I know it. You know it.
Yeah.
Could it be in my mind?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when my leg was finally released, I mean, I kicked the shit out of Dana. So, I mean, you know, I mean, I could not physically move my leg, and I can hear my voice trying to call out her name a little bit. You know, I can hear it scratchy, but
Yeah.
when I finally was able to get it out, you know, after I kicked her and got in trouble. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they still say, you know, or not paralysis, they still say paranormal happens during that time. So,
It does, yeah.
Kind of makes me question also, too, when you have dreams, like what, I know we're getting off on, like I said, off topic. Well, I haven't forgot your thing.
Nope.
We're definitely going to talk about your stuff, 'cause I have some videos and stuff
yeah.
to play and whatnot. It's kind of like dreaming. What's your guys' take on things like when I'm dreaming about somebody I've never met, but they're in my dream? I've never seen this person before, but they're very vivid to me. I know who they are. I mean, I don't know who they are, but we're acquaintances or whatever. Go ahead, or anything like that. What do you guys think?
Well, according to, you know, the paranormal, you know, world, you know, most people believe that you don't see a stranger's face in your dream. If you don't know the person, you're not going to dream about the person. So each face that you see in your dream, you've either made contact through television, you know them through television, aka an actor, actress, what have you, portrayal of an actress or an actor, or somebody that you actually know. And if you can't make their face out, but you do know them, whether it's in this lifetime or the last. I mean, you do know who they are. They visit you in your dream, through your dream.
Yeah, because I've also heard the notion that when you're dreaming about that person you've never seen, they're dreaming about you on the other side, supposedly. You're trying to make a connection.
Oh, that's cool.
I've heard that before.
But telepathic?
Kinda.
That's what I've wondered, because I've had like a few dreams that I can remember that have some person that I've never met.
Right.
And I racked my brain after waking up like, okay, I've never met this person, like, who the hell was it?
Right.
Then there's times that there's been an actor or something in my dream, and I'm like, okay, why did I dream about them?
Exactly. Is it because of a movie I saw recently, or, you know, is it because of just whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So you think an actor's thinking about you?
They
Or
probably
actress.
wouldn't even give a shit about me. I've never personally dealt with like sleep paralysis,
I haven't either.
but
Really?
I've
I've never.
had dreams where like my dad's brother passed away unexpectedly
Sure.
7 years ago, and it wasn't long after he passed away that I was in bed asleep, and all of a sudden my uncle comes to me, and I wake up and I could see it like a full black like apparition come into my room, and it's my uncle. The closer he got, I could see that it was my uncle. And he sat down in the bed, and he sat down. He's like, "I love you. I'm sorry I didn't get to tell you goodbye.
Right.
Don't worry about me. I'm okay." And he said, "I love you." And then he stood up, and I could see him turn around. And the closer he got to my bedroom door, it was a black figure at that point instead of looking like my uncle. But then
Sure.
it's like it dissipated, and I could hear the footsteps one by one going down the hall till it just went away.
Yeah.
And I sat up in bed, and I had been asleep. I just sat up in bed thinking, did I dream this? Or was this real?
Right.
But I saw him with my own eyes. I'm like, that was Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still to this day, I'm like, blown away.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, I mean, because there's such thing as ESP, you know, and there's also, I think there's also a way to will it also, too, like if you have something happen. I mean, how much of that is our own free will, just willing something to happen, and or maybe it's just us thinking about it so much, not so much in your experience, but just in when things happen for a reason, whatever, or things happen because of my dreams or whatever. It's because I'm fixated or fascinated with it maybe so much that I made it happen. I mean, that's a possibility.
That's what I've wondered, because I had that same similar thing happen after a friend died that had battled cancer, and I didn't get to go see her before she passed, and that similar, she came to me, and I still wonder, okay, did I dream that and just think that I was really kind of half awake, half asleep?
Yeah.
Or was it my mind, me not forgiving myself for taking the time to go visit, and that just something I dreamed?
Sure.
Well, I mean, if you talk to Lena, I mean, she's one to tell you that, I mean, she believes that the curtain between our reality and theirs while we're asleep is much, much thinner. And that is the time that they do come to us and talk to us and pass on information. So, I mean, if that's true, that's...
We'd be more open at that point.
Exactly.
More vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to sound stupid. Well, maybe not. Not in the show. It doesn't sound stupid, really. Well, maybe. But I had to quit reading my horoscopes because of that reason when I was younger, because it seemed like everything I read, good or bad, would kind of come true. Even those, I mean, it's just a piece of paper, somebody's idea. I mean, it probably repeats the same every year or 2 years. I don't know. It's probably the same thing every time for me, or it just rotates. But it was happening too much. It was pissing me off more than anything, because I'm like, I don't want this to happen. And you know, it'd say you're gonna lose a girlfriend or whoever, you know. And it's like, once again, is that me creating that? I don't know, but
I like to read it at the end of the day to see if it actually reflected to what I felt through the day.
And how is it?
Sometimes it's really accurate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just partially accurate. But yeah, I have to. I mean, every morning, one of the radio shows that I hear when I'm on the way to work at 5 in the morning. Well, yeah, 4:45, whatever. They read the horoscopes at that time. It's like, oh God, no! So I have to turn the channel so I don't have to hear it. So yeah.
Back when they used to have a thing called the newspaper. Remember those?
Oh yes.
I would be like, people
like,
I'm gonna read my horoscope. I'm like, okay, cool. Don't read mine out loud. Just keep it to yourself. 'Cause I don't want to know it. Yeah,
exactly.
It was getting to the point. Like I said, it was just too bad. Let's see here. Latasha wants to know if we ever had a ghost hit your pillow on or side of the bed just to wake you up. I have one that does that often. Yeah, I mean, I can. You guys know me well enough now. I've had to start wearing. For I don't know how many years now. Forever, for a while, we'll say, in more than 10 years, I've had to start wearing headphones at night because of that reason. They would come up to me and all hours of the night, and they would start yelling in my ear, like, hey, you know, waking me up and shit, and trying to talk to you. And I think once we made that connection, they know, oh, this guy can hear me better than most people, or whatever, you know. They're like, oh, we're going to talk to that guy. It reminds me, if you ever seen the movie Ghost,
right,
with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze, when it reminds me when once he finds out Whoopi Goldberg has that connection, you know, he's on the side of the bed and he's singing Henry VIII I Am over and over just to piss her off, you know. That's kind of what I envisioned happening to me, but without Patrick Swayze, of course, and Whoopi Goldberg. But it's the same comical thing that happens. But yeah, I couldn't do it anymore because it was too much, and I'm a very light sleeper, so anything noise wakes me up. That's why I don't think I have sleep paralysis, possibly because I'm such a thing.
Right,
holds me
you don't go to that REM sleep.
Yeah, I can't get to a good REM sleep.
I don't think one's ever done anything with my pillow, but I know it feels like something's kicked my bed a few times. Because I've always been kind of a light sleeper, but especially since my nieces were born and they stayed a lot, I would get up with them and check on them. And since for like 19 years, since the kids have been around, I've noticed more things like it feels like something kicked my bed just to like kind of like give you a jolt and wake you up, and it's happened several times.
The funniest thing too is how many times have we covered our faces up with blankets like that's going to protect us, you know?
And there's
so many memes about that, you know.
And then you don't like pull it back down, like okay, it's going to be right here in your face.
Yeah, I've seen our good friend Jen Cruz of the She Squatchers posted something this weekend about there's like a hand reaching for somebody's foot on the covers, you know.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I'd welcome it. I need a good foot rub. So, but let's see here. That's cool. Cindy says her mom would sometimes get her attention with her short low whistle, like she did when she was still when I still lived at home. That makes sense. I mean, hopefully that is your mom, like you said, still doing that. Hopefully it's not some trickster ghost, I know wakes her up or her comfort level. I think it's whatever you believe, honestly. If you feel that you're still your mom, Cindy, I would back that up 100%.
I believe that because I feel like the more you know certain people that, like, there's certain things since my grandma's passed a couple of years ago, there's certain things or certain scents that I know that she uses to get my attention.
That's cool.
And then once something like that, or I smell a certain thing, it's like I know she's around.
Yeah, I'm the same way when Jake's around. Every time he farts, I know it's Jake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jake breaks.
I wish he was here, man. I want to make fun. Kidding. Yeah, and Natasha, she's a very light sleeper too. So yeah, it's hard for me to not. That's why I said I gotta have headphones no matter where I go.
Well, I listen to Alexa and my ceiling fan anymore. I mean,
really?
I have to. You just have some kind of noise playing.
Yeah, my wife has to have a TV going. Same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just sometimes the dark's too much, whatever, too quiet.
Well, silence is too deafening.
Really?
I mean,
well, it's funny. Some people say that I gotta have a pitch black in there. I can't have any kind of noise. It's like I don't know how they do it. I mean,
I think when I was younger, I used to have like a radio or the TV going.
Really?
But now it's black, and I can't stand to have like the TV on going in the background. And
well, I don't do the TV or nothing of that nature. I mean, I'll play, like I say, I'll play some Tibetan music bowls on the Alexa, or of course I have the fan. I always have that white noise from the fan. I got to have that moving.
Yeah, and
a little bit of light is great because I mean it's pitch black again. It's deafening. I mean it hurts so bad just not to hear nothing. It's painful.
I think I have a night light in the hallway.
Really,
just so the kids when they get up they can go and see that way. And
sure,
it puts a little light in the room that if I hear something, then I can have that little bit of visual to see what's coming.
See, and that's, God, my boys, ever since they're young, I mean, my other house had all wood floors, so I'd hear every movement they would do. Now, our entrance in our kitchen has it, and it turns into carpet in our bedroom. But I can still hear them moving, and they run. I don't know what it is. They always come running to our room, like, and I'll be half asleep. I'm like, jump up and look at them like, what the? Is it a ghost or is it my kid? It's usually my kid. I mean, it's always my kid usually, but still. It's like, son of a, don't do that, because you can hear it coming from a distance.
They're like speed racers, yeah.
Yeah. Because I had that on a case. The Talclaw case we always talk about where the bedroom they had, where they got attacked and the little things on the window scratching, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We were on that. The first time I was ever there, the house is, like I said, dilapidated, starting to fall in, and I was sitting in the bedroom. It was myself. I think Claire was on my left. Jason was on her left. And then I had, I don't know if you ever met Jan. You probably never met Jan. She was there a long time ago with us. She was on my right, and I could see out the back. There was no lights in there. There was no electricity in the house at all. The back door was kind of hanging on the hinges barely, or maybe missing. But I could see something pacing back there, way back there in the back. I'm like, ah, shit. So I'm just watching this door, watching that door, watching everything. And next thing I know, it's on recorder. You hear this thing go boom, 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 boom. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like that because you can see it coming, and I'm just like,
What
okay,
was that?
It's here, and I don't. That was me moving again. I don't know what. Are you seeing
light? Yeah.
Okay.
Just flash of light right there.
I don't know what that was today, but I mean, you can see it and hear it, and I don't have it on camera, but I have it on recorder. Because at the time we didn't have handheld cameras, and this is 2011 when we were there the first time, I think. So we didn't have all the equipment we have now. Now I wish I could go back and redo that stuff.
Visit all that.
But it's hard to even get in the house now because of it's every year we come back.
Falling through.
I mean, if you fall through, you're gonna hit probably in a bed of snakes or some shit.
Well, I don't want to. No.
Because there's copperheads out there.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to fall in the bed of copperheads.
No. So.
No.
When that happens and you like hear the footprints,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever feel like you can almost feel them running up on you?
I don't know about then, or you mean my kids, or which ones?
Or
like
either,
that, like when a spirit does it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you feel the gust of wind. I mean, come up on you, but it's just like, what's their intention? I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get attacked? That's my biggest thing. I don't want to get like scratched or whatever. I mean, I will, but
that's how I feel. Like sometimes you can almost feel it. And I think that's what makes me more nervous or anxious. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? Am I going to get hurt because I don't want to get hurt type of thing?
Well, I mean, just being in this case, this is the room where, like I said, they got attacked, so I'm already on edge anyways because the closet where they got scratched at, the thing would come out and try to grab them was right on my backside behind me, on my backside to my shoulder side, so I'm keeping an eye on that, but I'm also looking at the window where the things would fly up to it, and then I'm also watching that back door way in the back because I'm just trying to keep my bearings, whatever. That way, if something does rush us or attacks us, whatever, I can be kind of somewhat prepared.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I saw it, I could see it pacing back and forth. I'm like, what the hell is that? Because it was dark, but it's darker than dark coming at you. So, oh my God, Cindy, I'm talking about the black lab. He'd wake up staring at her, but his nose would be about 3 inches from your face.
Yeah, that'd be a rough wake up.
I'd be afraid I'd get flinching, like punch it by it, not intentionally hurt it, but
right, yeah.
What are you doing? And I'm sure you got used to it over time.
I've done that. Like, I fell asleep on the couch one night, and my cat jumped up and got on my side because I sleep on my side. And and I could feel him, and I'm like pushing him, not realize I was having whatever dream, whatever it was, and I'm like, I wake up pushing my cat, like, get off me, and I realized it was Hunter, and I'm like, what the hell did I just dream of?
That's David. I remember David. He said he talked about he said I thought he caught some poltergeist activity in his Dodge City house, but when he lived there, but he was able to debunk it. That's too bad. I remember you talking about that one time to us, but you live like in Scott City now, I think you said. Is that right? If I remember right. So, yeah, Rhea. She said the scary thing at her house is waking up to her daughter standing by her bed, wanting to crawl in with her, looking like Samara from The Ring. Yes, because that's what my kid would do also. When they were littler, sometimes they were smart enough not to make so much noise. That way we don't startle us. But then they'd be crawling in the bed at the end, trying to get in the cover. You're like, Jesus. Because once again, the TV's on, so I have some kind of ambient light, and then you see this kid coming at you.
Right.
It's the scariest shit.
Yeah, coming out of sleep. I mean, your eyes are already blurry.
Oh yeah, you're just like,
hey.
oh geez, you're coming at you, So
I think that's why my mom still screams.
Really?
Because I used to do that to her when I was little, and she'd wake up screaming.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the dogs will run in there at night and jump on the bed, she's still screaming.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's hilarious. So what do you guys feel about doppelgangers? I mean, we've talked about it before on the show. I mean, some people feel there's different myths behind it. I mean, it comes from the German word for meat double and all that stuff, and some people feel it. I've heard the story, especially in Native American culture, if you see your own doppelganger, that means you're going to die kind of a thing. And that was one of the biggest things about Tahlequah.
I didn't die.
Yeah, well, I've seen mine too, but he was a real person. But the thing in Tahlequah is that was one of the stories that it said if you saw your doppelganger by the river we had to cross to get to the caves, then it's going to pull you in, and out would come your doppelganger, and you would be dead. The real you would be dead. Ooh. So that was a little unnerving, but didn't stop us.
Suck.
Didn't stop us.
Or did it? We don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Damn it, man.
But the thing was weird is
Did they think the real Dan sat next to me?
I wasn't there.
He's never gone there. That's just
But
that could be a
only
different
Jason
Leo.
and myself. Yeah,
Oh.
at this point, yeah, they're still left.
Now this is where we debunk if this is a real Leo or not.
You know, everybody on the public investigations have never seen me, so maybe I'm not
Yeah,
who I
that's
say
true.
I am.
That is
But,
true.
We could have Leo conspiracy theories now.
Yeah.
The weird thing was, this is where we caught the kids' little. I always call it the horror movie thing, where there's a couple of voices layered on my recorder, and because we're asking her, "Are you little people, whatever out here, or what are you?" You know, and it sounds sarcastic in nature, but he's like, "I don't know," and it's full layered, and I'm just like. The thing is, Jan and I heard it. We're like, "Oh, did you hear that?" We didn't hear what they said at the time. We just heard it. So
Wow.
beware of what, kids?
Beware of kids.
I'm telling you, man, they're creepy little bastards. No, I'm kidding.
They are. They are.
But going back to doppelgangers, you said you're seniors?
Yes. Well, okay. So I had several people come through and said, "Dude, I didn't know you worked out here." I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, I've been working out here for 10 years." Well,
What?
I just swear I seen you yesterday over at this different location. I'm like, he's a general manager for this store. I'm like, no, I don't work there. I've never worked there.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. So I had to go out. I did after like the fourth person told me about it. I had to go to the store to check it out, and I went in there, and of course I still had hair at the time. Yeah, I wore hair. And,
I wore hair.
and I
had hair.
I do have hair. I just don't wear it. But and I did have I had my goatee at the time, and I had a mustache.
Sure.
And I go into this place, and this dude was, I mean, he looked 100%. I mean, I asked my mother. I said,
That's
"Man,
crazy.
did you drop a kid off somewhere?" I mean, without the goatee, he wore a mustache only. But he looked just exactly like me. So I'm up here ordering, this tray of deli meat, and I'm like, how do I talk to this guy? I mean, what do I tell him?
Yeah.
Like, give me this, please. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and then he went to the back room, and you could see him looking through the glass on the counter, like checking me
Wow.
out. I'm like,
Made it more
okay. And so that was the last time I went back there to see him. But yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He's a human form doppelganger. Yeah,
Like that one?
he looks like that one, except he had hair and no goatee.
You're never going to live that down, dude.
No, I like that
Yeah.
picture though.
That still cracks me up.
I had to, man. I'm sorry. I didn't have to. I chose to.
It's a sexy motherfucker right there.
There's more coming. Don't worry. There's more for everybody. It's all coming.
Oh God!
Yeah.
What
Do
do I
not
have
go to
look
my
forward
Facebook
to?
and steal any photos.
You know, I wouldn't have never said anything, but you're want to put who's this sexy mother on
Look
there,
at
and
this
I'm
sexy-
like, well,
yeah.
now you got a nickname, sexy mother, and then it gets downhill from there. So
Yeah,
Every time I see that picture, I think of what you said, the sexy mother.
sexy mother.
yeah. Sorry.
And there she goes. Yeah, everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's that
That's
picture.
what happens. You'll never. I'll pull it up eventually again here.
Well, and then of course
Years down the road.
from Holton, Kansas, up there at the Hotel Josephine.
Mhm.
I now have the nickname of Naughty Dan or whatever they call me up there. So, yeah, Dirty Dan.
Dirty
Maybe
Dan,
that's what
yeah.
it was. Was that
What did you do to earn that nickname?
You're still the meat stick.
Well, okay, yeah.
Andy calls me meat stick all the time.
Rhea doesn't know
Oh, you
about the
ate it
meat
for
stick,
me.
so I mean we'll have to tell her that story that Sunday. Maybe she'll think less of me even more then. But
Dirty.
no, oh yeah, the Dirty Dan. There it is. No, so we were all talking.
Okay.
So we did our investigation all that night, whatever. So we was talking about the next morning about. All right, so Stacy and Andy were in the room next to us.
Uh-huh.
We were in our room, and she was talking. I was like, "Well, I'm going to go over there and bang on the wall to scare you through the night."
Oh, right.
And then we're talking about, well, it's actually if you hear a,
Is that when y'all were in our room before you went to bed?
yeah.
Okay.
And then then we're talking about, well, if you hear a constant thud for 3 or 4 minutes, don't worry about it.
Oh, my God.
What
That's how
have
everything
you.
came about.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's part of it.
It happens.
They heard it through the hotel, I guess. I don't know.
He was sitting on my bed this whole time, and
Oh, my God.
that didn't even sound right. I'm sorry.
Hey.
His wife was there too with us.
Oh, that's even worse. Sorry, Dana. Sorry,
Yes,
Dangerous
I did.
Dan. Now Carl's got me for so the meat stick, Dangerous Dan, Dirty Dan, and Sexy Mother. I got it all tonight. We're good.
It
We're
happens.
good. We're good.
You're well rounded.
Yes, I am.
Well, I didn't.
Wow,
no,
she just called me fat.
No.
Whoa, hey-o.
I'm selectively thick.
Oh, my God.
We'll go there. Sorry.
What about you, Andy? Have you ever seen your doppelganger that you know
I've
of?
always heard about doppelgangers, but never really, I guess, thought about it. But over the years, the last few years I have, because there's been a couple times that I've been wherever and somebody'd come up and like tap me on the shoulder and I turn around and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody
For
else.
sure,
You
yeah.
look just like so and so." And I thought, well, maybe I do have a doppelganger.
Why
out
did
there.
you not grab a name out of it? Find out who it is.
Well-
Go check him out.
Well, it happened once at the casino, one of the casinos in Oklahoma, and I was sitting at some machine. Somebody came up and they were like, "Hey, I thought you were." "Oh no, you're not who I thought you were." And they
Yeah.
said some name, and I thought about.
You're like, yes, I am.
Yeah,
I would have
should
said
have.
something.
It was funny.
You still got
because-
that $40 you owe me?
That's
Right.
Sure.
They sat down at there was two people, and they sat down at a machine a couple down from me, and they started talking about like their family being the Griswolds. And I had to laugh because I'm like, one side of our family, we call ourselves the Griswolds
Oh, yeah.
because some of them are crazy, but crazy fun.
Sure,
But,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe I do have a doppelganger over there or something, but
Right.
I guess I've seen people that look similar to me, but not like spot on, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
That
one
guy-
of these days.
Yeah.
The guy's pretty spot on with the exception he didn't have a goatee. It was horrible. It was scary.
So that's how so you know how you look from like the chin.
Oh, well,
Nothing.
I do have photos of the
Oh, that's right. and the-
Lieutenant Dan mustache, but I'm not going to pull them up today.
Lieutenant Diane. It was weird. I was this past week, coincidentally enough, I was at a restaurant during lunch with one of my coworkers, and we're just sitting there having a conversation. And the lady brings food to us, our server. She's, "Oh my God!" Well, she wasn't the waitress or anything. She just happened to bring the person to bring the food out. She's, "Oh my God! I just want to say, here's your food, and everything." But she said, "You also look like one of my friends." I was getting ready to make a comment, sarcastic. I'm glad I didn't, because she was like, "But they're passed on right now. They've already passed, so it's But thank you for coming in today, because you made me think about a bunch of old memories." I'm like, okay, because they had to make a bad comment. I was gonna be something, me. I'm sarcastic at any chance I get. So, but yeah.
in
So
a way,
I
it
don't know so
looks
much.
like a compliment in a way.
Yeah, I just let her. I just said, "Oh, well, glad I could come in today. Make your day, whatever." She goes, "You made my day." I'm just like, "You only knew the real me. You wouldn't be saying that." And I'm just
Exactly.
But I thought it was nice. Like I said, I was gonna say something sarcastic. I usually have something to say right away, and I'm just like, "Well, I'll let this one slide," because, yeah. So I don't know if it's so much as a doppelganger or just resemblance, maybe in that case, but or maybe I don't know.
That's happened to me, like where I've met people that remind me, like little things. Maybe it's the way they talk or the way they gesture when they talk about just certain little things, and it reminds me of somebody that's passed on, and it brings back
Yeah,
memories that I haven't really thought of in a while.
yeah. Bree was talking about. She said, "I also heard interesting theories about it being your own spirit and time travel." She says, not saying that she believes that, but she said she heard some interesting stuff about it. It's a spirit looks like you, bad omen, possibly omen of death. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. That's what the Native Americans were telling us down there in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, that if this thing jumped out at you out of the water, it looked just like you, a doppelganger. It would pull you in. So, which then when we get across that river was we had to climb a log over I don't know what it was. It was kind of arched, a big branch. We had to climb over it, and it's slippery and shit. But we made it over. I mean, that's the way we can get across that river to get to the caves. But
No troll doppelganger hanging underneath waiting for you.
yeah, I mean
That would be freaky.
yeah, I don't know.
That'd be
I kept
freaky.
looking. I mean, I forget about it, which wouldn't surprise me because out there, especially the Native American spirits and the skinwalkers, which somebody else asked about Skinwalker Ranch earlier.
Yeah, I think that was Natasha was talking about.
Yeah,
skinwalkers.
that's some stuff we maybe encountered out there, or even here in not Wichita, but close by with some things that happened. But what do you guys think about skinwalkers? I mean, what is a true skinwalker in your mind?
Well, a true skinwalker, I mean, by all definitions, most of them are all sighted on Navajo land. It is a story of the Navajos of some a
Shapeshifter.
shapeshifter per se. Some of them are and have horns, and they look like a walking goat, and they're kind of see through. You can see the skeletal features of it, but then it can shift into a formation of a man. It just depends on how much peyote you've ate at the time. But I mean,
Because they've always talked about, even because a lot of the tribes used to have made, or they still do, medicine women or medicine man, whatever, that it may be even one of their healers or something, possibly from a past that still has that capability to shapeshift into anything they want to. But it seems like they always get a bad rap, I guess we'll call it, a bad reputation behind them. But do you think you feel like they truly are as evil as everybody makes them out to be?
Well, I mean, everybody believes that they're demonic and they sacrifice animals. They kill cows. However, as far as the shapeshifters, I mean, if you look into it, I mean, they're not a murderous cryptid. Right. They don't kill things. They're
there to be territorial, maybe, or intimidating, possibly.
And I mean, again, they can shapeshift into animals per se, wolves, and they're back into their human form, and then back into the the medicine man looking dude.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, watch over the land and stuff like that. I agree with that. The thing we always caught the thing in the Raptors. I'm fairly certain that's what that was, because it had all the features. I mean, this thing was kind of like cryptid in some ways, and just the way it moved backwards on all fours and dissipated up in the air.
Yeah.
It also is the same thing that happened down in Tahlequah once again. I don't know why we get on Tahlequah kicks, but we do, because it's just to me, it's still a story that I cannot believe I actually experienced. I never would have believed it had, and that's the book we talk about in front of Dan, The Agony That Remains, that Brandon written. I've seen some of the reviews on it, and it's just like, oh, if this isn't fiction, I don't know what it is. The story is too good to be true, we'll say.
Right.
But had I not lived through it and documented everything and put it into that book, I mean, from the audio, video, all that stuff, pictures, to you name it, I would never believe it myself. But the fact that I have it all documented supports my side of the story. And it's crazy to think that we've even experienced it, because there's some stuff I should never have saw. I should have never seen so far in my paranormal career that I can't believe I've seen.
Well, again, and it's all tied to the land. I mean, the location, the land, the persons involved.
Yep.
There's so much history. There's so much death there. So much emotional baggage.
Yeah.
That is
tied to
sorrow.
A lot of sorrow. A lot of pain. A lot of, because like I said, it's where the Trail of Tears ends. So
right. So
not surprising. So I'm trying to read all the comments here.
I want to go find the church down there that several people have told me about. So I really would like to go down there and try that. In Tahlequah.
Really? I wonder what church that is.
It's one that the Owl Man,
really,
that they've seen him, and once somebody shot him one time off the perch of the owl or the church, and then he shifted back into the human form, and he was trying to run and he was trying to bleed out. But yeah.
See, the thing is, and I've noticed when we were down there, I can blend in more easily than probably you guys, because I look sort of Native American in some way. Because like I said, the brothers even asked me, what tribe do you belong to? I'm like, American? I'm just kidding. No, I just said I'm not really Native American per se, but I may have some, because let's face it, I'm Mexican American, whatever you want to call it, or Mexican. But I know some of my family was from Mexico, old Mexico, and so I'm sure I have like the Aztec Indians and that type of flavor in me, and who knows whatever else. But I don't know, I guess some Spaniard in me too, for sure. Mm-hmm. But they're really protective of their land, as they should be, because they're every time they see us, they're like, "What are you guys here for?" I mean, when Jake would tell you, I wish he was here. He would tell his story. They just eyeballed him the minute he, out of nowhere, because he went to the cemetery we told him to go to, and it's not like, it's off the beaten path, number one, and he went out there and an Indian woman pulled up in a car and was just eyeballing him. It's just like, he's like, "What the hell?" Well, I'm just I'm here. It's a cemetery. You know, I'm not doing anything disrespectful. This is in broad daylight. But she just stood at them for a long time, and then he said I felt uncomfortable. I stayed a little bit longer, and then she drove off. But then I drove off shortly after that. But it's just they're very aware of their surroundings, of that area. And, But then once we go in there, we start kind of giving them some hints of what we're doing. And like, oh, well, have you guys looked for this over here? And they start dropping names and stuff, and just like, no, but I'd like to. You know, let me know. And if you can help me out, I would definitely go and investigate that part of the area. Yeah. But they're definitely protective. Well, the book is called "The Agony That Remains." It's the black cover with the red front of Dan.
Yeah, right here.
Pull
that back and make it look better there.
It's written by our buddy from Kansas City, Brandon Callahan. It talks about this family of Indian brothers, family that's been there. They got pushed to this land because of the Trail of Tears, and they, ever since they were there, they've just had. They're 60s now. Well, one of them just passed away about a year or two ago. Their families have suffered torments, or things that happened. Part of it is because I think they quit doing what they needed to do. They're supposed to plant some kind of tree or something every year on every four corners of the property, and they used to do it all the time, and then it becomes burdensome, I'm sure, and sometimes you just forget or whatever. And once that quit doing it, some of the things picked up. What was that saying? Oh God, Carl. But things started happening. That's when they started having all those experience, paranormal to Bigfoot, we'll call it, Sasquatch, to UFOs, to everything, and just some random shit that I can never. Once when I heard the story, I'm like, we're going to this place, and is it real? No, we'll see.
Right.
But then when I went down there, I'm like, holy shit! I saw remnants of all that stuff, that happened, experienced it, and came back with, like I said, way more questions than answers ever. And we keep going back there as much as we could until it's tied up in, like I said, court and whatnot. But because some people want the property that don't belong to it, so
yeah, I would love to get down there, at least try, and not necessarily that property anymore since it's such an issue to get on there.
Yeah, but
at least the town, check it out in the areas and see what people have to say. I mean,
yeah. It's interesting. Like I said, it has a different feel. Like I said, the very first time I ever stepped foot on that land, I always felt like I was being watched immediately. You could just, like the woods had eyes on you, and it just, you could hear whispering and stuff. And it's just like, what is this? What is
Broken Bow, which is just south of that, it's just almost the same way. Yeah,
I've always wondered, because I've driving through Broken Bow, coming and going different places, and stopping a few times. I've always certain places felt a little more heavy than others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, it's Sasquatch related. They have a lot of Sasquatch sightings down there.
Oh, yeah.
And of course UFO sightings, because you're right between a couple rather large mountains. Right? I mean, for Arkansas and Oklahoma,
it's the Ozark Mountains and all that stuff in that area and whatnot more. So yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, it's so close to us. We can go down more often. We should go out there and just go explore, but got to be really careful because, like I said, the Native American people and all that area is really protective, like I said, as rightfully should be. I mean,
my great grandmother's part of that tribe, so I'd have to at least, hey, this was her card.
Yeah, I was going to lead into that. Yeah, Rhea's talking about the Bigfoot sighting that was in Kansas this week. Yep, not too far from us. Yeah, there was a Bigfoot sighting. It got put out on the BFRO website, which is the Bigfoot Field Research Organization website. It's actually put on by one of the guys from Finding Bigfoot, Matt Moneymaker. He's one of the guys on the show. He's the one who posted it because the lady contacted him. It was a 65-year-old woman who contacted him and said she saw this creature. Her and her adult son, they just got back from Wichita, and they were driving through the countryside and seen this creature, this being, reddish fur, off on the riverbank, off to the side. And I think she said she had seen him before, and she didn't know what it was, but they got a better look at this time. They could see reddish fur, darker hands kind of a thing, and just wasn't a person, according to what she said. And, it's odd. She said they went back after they thought about it, and she took pictures, and this is like a couple of days later. And, of course, we've had a lot of rains lately, and it's raining today, matter of fact. But the river had swollen so much. Swelled. Where that thing was standing is underwater now. It's only a matter of days. So And she said she's handicapped, so she couldn't have gone down there anyway. So she took a picture from the bridge area, and you can see where it'd be at. Dan said he used
I used to fish
off of that bridge or near there.
Yeah. It's the South Fork Nenaskal, just south of right over by Biola, on 400. I've fished that area several times and noodled along there too because as far as Kansas, it's the best noodling lake there is. I mean, there's huge holes, and I mean if you're a foot, I mean that area would be perfect for that because it's heavily wooded right through there.
A lot of
lot of waterway and a lot of food. So.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because all the years we go to Dodge City, even before I was part of any paranormal back and forth because of my family was out there, I would always look at that area. I'm always looking on both sides of the road by the Nenaskal River, north and south forks of that area, just in general. Because there's that protected wildlife area out there too, that Byron Walker Refuge. That's what it's called. Wildlife Refuge out there. And I just look. I mean, it's a good food source for them. It's rivers. Yeah. They're thought to be nomadic creatures. They travel up and down those rivers, allegedly, and that's the place, if you ever watch Finding Bigfoot, that's the area they went and looked, actually. Didn't come up with a lot of stuff, but in the same area, out by Kingman and all that stuff, and Pratt and all that area. But so I always make it a point to look that way, and I have never seen anything. Of course, where this thing was creature wasn't close to where I'm at. It's further south. But I think I'm off this week. The second part of the week, I'm thinking about going out there, actually.
Driving out there.
Jason, he's like, damn it, without me? I'm like, dude, you're going to be out tending or hunting or whatever, camping out in Missouri. That's where Jason's going to be this week.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see what I can find. Hopefully, that's my intention if everything works well. But it's supposed to rain the first part of the week, so I don't know if I really want to go out that far because it's going to get pretty muddy out there and whatnot. We'll see.
Well, there's again the riverside of it is a little wide. It's kind of wet through there.
Yeah.
But if you off the two sides, it's real sandy.
Yeah.
And lots of game trails right through there. So
I bet.
You'll never. I mean, you could be out of the water area without an issue.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping because I know my father-in-law was asking me for years ago. He was like, I want to go with you guys to do that one of these days. And I was like, well, Tahlequah's shut down. We'll have to figure another place to go. I told him about this place. He's like, well, it sounds interesting. Maybe we should go check it out. I'm like, let's go. Because he's an actual hunter. He's been hunting all his life. So he knows all that stuff, the game trails and all that stuff and whatnot.
Follow through there, see some
Because I
signs.
actually hit him up one day. I'm like, I know you're out here hunting all the time. You sit in tree blinds and all that stuff. I was like, have you had any experience with maybe something? He's like, it's funny you say that because when you're out there, it's pretty quiet for the most part until you have come across, animals and whatnot. You hear a lot of interesting things in the woods and stuff, and you hear things. I know what that is. I know that, but what is that thing that just made a weird, whatever sound or crackled and whatnot? And it's just like you never know what that is, and it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
He's never said he saw anything or heard anything per se, but it's piqued his interest a little bit or a lot actually. So
they had a pretty good capture on Paranormal Caught on Camera last week. The last one from last week, the scream that is a 20-25 second scream. You can hear it, just continuous.
So they said it was a Bigfoot. They thought.
Well, they didn't.
They heard a scream.
Yeah, you could tell it was a foot sound. I mean, you can tell.
Really.
The scream. Yeah.
I just didn't know because some of that stuff they've attributed to banshees.
Big cat.
Banshees also.
Oh, banshees. Yeah.
Yeah, which.
It did sound banshees.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounded pretty rough.
Did it?
It's spooky.
I'll have to watch it because I just haven't watched that show for a while. Some of the stuff I get ideas from when I look on the videos, some of the stuff I bring to the show, I've caught on there or whatever. Like, I've seen this before and it reminded me, oh yeah, someone go find that out and bring it to the show.
This season's a little bit better. I mean,
that's what you were saying.
It's a lot heavier and big and UFOs and stuff of the nature,
which is the hot
topic
right now.
There's a lot out there right now.
Yeah, UFOs. Especially the one that just. It's funny because we did our show last week we talked about aliens and stuff with the Navy and stuff, and then the following week or maybe that same Sunday, 60 Minutes had a
2-hour show.
2-hour special about it where the two Navy pilots have been seeing this craft off the coast of San Diego for like a year solid.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what they said they were seeing. They described the same thing, and one was a female, one was a male, and they both gave their accounts on it. And
it was a good show.
They called it a UFO, but I mean, UFO does not necessarily mean aliens. It just means an unidentified flying object. That's all it means. So, But
Well, now they call it UR.
did they give them extra? What did they call it?
Oh, they got a new name for it. They don't call them
Really?
UFOs anymore now. Well, the government does not.
Yeah, they do or don't.
They don't.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, Latasha said I'd love to see a UFO and Bigfoot. Like I said, I have those experiences down in Tahlequah. I mean, we talk about it ad nauseum here, but I don't know. I don't know what I've seen. I mean, I've seen the footprints. I can tell you that much. We have some of them on film.
No, Renee's seen something, so I wish
She was
here.
there that night with
Yeah.
Brandon
Yeah.
and I. It was just us three that it scared the shit out of her. She'll
Right.
tell you.
She didn't get out of the camper the rest of the time,
She
right?
was like, lack of a better term, white as a ghost. She was.
Yeah.
She was like. I
Hearing
never seen her
her
scared
talk
like that.
about being in the RV
Mhm.
and what she heard.
Yeah.
Just hearing her firsthand, her telling me,
Yeah.
I could tell that she was
Oh, yeah.
freaked the fuck
It
out.
still scares you to this day. I always carry a machete with me when I go down there because we're out in the woods. You know, when you know what animals you're going to encounter. And some of the guys carry weapons just because in case there's wild boar out there, there's snakes out there, there's bears out there. Anyway, so usually I don't take it out there with me. I just have it nearby if I need it sometimes. But that's the first time I pulled it out that whole trip, and that was like the very last night before we left. So and we saw something out there. But I don't know. It was crazy. But as far as the UFOs out there too, they say they see UFOs out there. I looked in the sky. I didn't see anything per se, but I saw stuff in the trees. And
Right.
we talked about those on the show about the little balls of
The
light,
balls of
whatever.
lights, yeah.
But they were different colors and just they're everywhere. And I don't know what those are. They're not swamp gas, and the people would like to say that they're.
Well, again, the time of the year guys were out there, they weren't lightning bugs either. I mean,
No.
red and green lightning bugs. Yeah.
No, we seen them on the property. They come up to and they just had different behaviors. I mean, I can't explain it.
Yeah.
It was enough to where I thought Jason, once again, because the one previous trip they had really put out these glow sticks out in the trees to hang up to track the Bigfoot, supposedly, you know, and we were by the house that's dilapidated, and I look over, I'm like, oh, Jason put the, glow sticks up in the trees again, and I'm like, wait a minute. Where that should be is not anywhere near the house. That's a good distance down this path way away from. I'm like, but so I even radioed out to Jason and them. I'm like, hey, did you put the glow sticks out there in the trees?
I know.
And he's like, oh shoot, I forgot that they're back at camp. I'm like, well, hey, that's not the same thing, obviously. And plus, I know I can't see them from here. I can guarantee it's all forest from where this path is. So it was just crazy. So and it's stuff the brothers have always seen is the lights.
Every time,
we
yeah,
captured it
that's
on
crazy.
camera. Like I said, I played the video. It's on our YouTube page for Everyday Legacy Paranormal. It's on there. So, yep, been watching that too about the UFOs. I haven't watched that particular episode. I know they just released that one. That was like the last episode, Expedition X. But I do watch that one. I need to catch. I'm about 2 episodes behind for that. She said that Latasha said they.
That's number 3 this season, or is it 4?
What season?
Expedition X.
It's the 3rd season.
Well, yeah, no.
Oh, what? You mean the episode?
The episode, yeah.
It is their. Well, they've done a couple of them. They did one like episode number 2 or 3, and then they did 3, and then they did one at the very last 2 now.
Okay.
I just watched the one. I just watched the one with the ghost of the river, whatever it's called, of the canal. Sorry,
Okay.
that one's interesting. They're all pretty interesting. I mean, like I said, I love Josh Gates. I mean, so that's my hero, and Jason's hero too. He talks about him all the time, but definitely the guy's credible. So you wouldn't put his name on it if you didn't really believe in it.
Exactly.
And he hates ghosts, so that tells you something.
Yeah. You don't
He's
want to
afraid of
deal with it at
ghosts. So very cool. Well, shit, that was an hour. We haven't got into the topic we were going to talk about tonight, which is Andy's
You said plus
adventures.
more, so.
Like I told you, we'll get into this shit and we'll just talk about things. Yeah, those UFO shows are good too.
I'll
So-
have Discovery Plus next
Yeah.
week. I don't have it yet.
You don't?
No.
Damn, you're
I'm
missing out.
cutting the cord, and I'm
The
I'm
umbilical?
having- yes. And I have
Wow.
so much anxiety just getting rid of cable.
I know.
But we got their antenna set up and everything. We got everything set up. We're good to go. I just got to get it done and do it.
I mean,
We did that a long time ago on Roku. Like, we love the Roku, Hulu,
yeah,
Netflix. There's so much you could watch.
yeah.
I know.
And like I told you guys, Discovery Plus is $4.99 with ads, $6.99 without ads. And
Yeah.
I watch it all the damn time, pretty much every day. It's so good. And they're getting ready to release Ghost Hunters,
Ghost
the
Hunters.
original ones, back
Yeah.
on that Discovery Plus.
So Ghost Nation is going to be done now,
They
right?
didn't say that. They just said they're coming back with Ghost
Hunters.
which makes me think, which Ghost Nation was okay. I mean, it's
but
Ghost Hunters is the classic.
yeah.
The thing is, it's not have Grant though. He really came out and said, "I'm not on that show, guys." Even though he had the show, but whatever. Yep, it's cheaper that way, Rhea. So Andy, our friend and teammate, got to go investigate, she was going on a trip anyways with her mom and going back to Graceland down in Memphis, right?
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. Yep. I knew before I started my job that I wanted to go on one last vacation, hurrah, because I'm an adventurer at heart. I love to travel, do things, and I really wanted to go to the beach, but Mom had never been to Graceland, and I had been 3 years ago. I had a friend opening for Luke Bryan in Arkansas, and I thought, what could I do that Saturday before the concert? And Memphis was only an hour away, and I thought, I'll just go to Graceland. So at that point, when I went, I only did the mansion and the grounds tour. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, they had built the new buildings that they have now.
Right.
But I went on a Saturday, and the new buildings didn't open until the following Monday, a couple days later.
Figures.
And so this time, when we went, the buildings obviously were open. They had like one building with all of Elvis's automobiles in it, one with his jumpsuits, and every building was something different. They had one with like Lisa Marie things. It was pretty surreal. Leo's got some pictures that he'll show as we're talking here in a few minutes, but I had some experiences at Graceland and in Nashville, but we'll get to Nashville pretty soon. I don't know if any of y'all, have you ever been to Graceland?
I know, we've driven by it. We haven't stopped. I want to stop, but I'm still mad at the conspiracy. Elvis ain't dead, or he might be dying, but whatever.
I've always wondered because, of course, Elvis passed before I was born, but I've always, I don't know, I know we can't always trust our gut instincts, but I've always just kind of felt deep down that maybe he lived longer, because you've seen the pictures of, that looks just like Elvis.
Right.
You can't go upstairs at Graceland because you walk in the front door and you know he died right above you.
Right.
But you can't go upstairs, and they say that his bathroom, bedroom, everything upstairs is how it was the day he died.
Except for he put new sheets on last week because he was sleeping in there. But, I'm just saying. Well, not now.
Yeah. Well, I've always wondered.
He died on the toilet? Just kidding. That's the old rumor. Did he die on the toilet?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, proclaimed.
We're talking like Elvis really still alive, but maybe he already died, but he still lived longer. I've always wondered. I mean, I get they've always said that upstairs was his private place.
Oh, right, yeah.
And there was some family members that lived there after he passed away.
Sure.
Because some people would go visit, like tour the place, and they could see his aunt that had lived there and cooking in the kitchen.
Nice.
So that you could walk through the whole mansion and everything, you could see it, except for the upstairs.
Gotcha.
But I've always wondered, okay, did he live, longer than what they said he did, and they had the upstairs closed off because,
The whole family's still up there living?
Yeah.
Could be.
But
somebody's frying some bacon up to make his BLT and bacon sandwich.
Famous sandwiches.
And banana, peanut butter and bacon.
And banana was in some one.
Well, peanut butter, banana, and bacon.
Oh,
yeah.
While we were doing our tour, we started out and went to the mansion first, and you have to park across the street, get your tickets, be bussed over. And when I went before, there was a lot of people there. And this time they were limiting how many people were in the mansion at a time. And so there was probably maybe 8 of us that went in.
Oh, wow.
And this other group had already went downstairs to the basement. But we walk in, and You walk in the front door, you see the staircase, you see his living room on the right side, his big dining table on the left side. You could go around, see his parents' bedroom, go through the kitchen, then you get sent downstairs. And we'd made it downstairs, and we went into his TV room. Here's
Yeah, I'm pulling them up as you're talking.
out front. Like when you walk in the front door, there's a window right above the front door, and that was his bathroom window where he passed.
On which side of the door? The right side?
Yep.
Huh.
Right above the door, in between the pillars,
Wow.
was the bathroom window. And then his bedroom windows were on the left side of the pillars upstairs.
Gotcha.
Charles, you put bacon on them sandwiches too, man. Look at us. Peanut butter, banana, and bacon. He had the TV mounted on the ceiling.
Right.
Jesus.
And honestly, we found out this time. Sorry, I'm kind of like all over the place.
No, you're fine.
They have so many articles of clothing and everything you can imagine that they have like one big warehouse or two big warehouses in Memphis. Two big air-conditioned places in Los Angeles that they keep a lot of his stuff in because there's so much that they can't have it all on display at one time.
Wow.
But anyways, we went through and then we finally got downstairs in his TV room. And his TV room had this big, long couch and like 3 or 4 TVs along one wall with like a mirrored wall on one side.
I've seen that, yeah. Did you have a picture of that? I've seen it somewhere. I'll try to find it real quick. I've seen that.
Okay. Leo's got up on the screen now, like the back of Graceland. I'll go back to that in a minute. But
sorry.
Oh no, you're good. It's like the back was really pretty of the house. It
oh, there it is.
Out back they had like an old garage looking building, and it housed Vernon's office, Elvis's dad, and just the way it was back in the 70s prior to Elvis's death and prior to Vernon passing away. And they've got horse stables and horses because Elvis loved horses, and a pool area. Elvis, we'll get to those pictures later on probably. Elvis is buried there on the other side of the pool with his parents and his grandma. And now his grandson is buried out there as well.
Oh, is he really?
And his grandson is a spitting image of a young Elvis.
That's crazy.
But if you ever get the chance to go to Graceland, it's kind of
There's this TV
tacky
room.
in a way.
You say tacky?
Because of the era, I guess. But it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty... What's the word? I don't know. Not flamboyant.
Vintage?
Not flamboyant. Maybe vintage is a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, here's the TV room. He had 3 or 4 different TVs so that he could watch all these different shows at one time. And they did have in one of the one of the other buildings we went through, a TV that he had shot. You could see the bullet hole and the broken glass. But Mom and I had walked into the TV room, and it was just us in there. And we're just standing there kind of quietly looking around. I was noticing things that I didn't notice the first time.
Oh, really?
Because I always try to stop and look, but there's always something you miss.
Sure, yeah.
And we were pretty quiet, and I'm just looking around, and I took my recorder in, which Leo, you knew.
Yeah.
In my pocket. You're not supposed to... I may or may not have recorded in there. I'll say it that way. So I still need to go through that and see if I caught anything. But Mom and I were standing in here because you can't go past the couch. But I turned around first to go to the pool room where his pool table was. And right as I turn around, I wasn't fully there yet, but I just seen this black shadow.
Right.
And I just kind of stopped. I'm like, okay, am I really seeing that? And it's like it took a step or two and then just stopped. And then it just dissipated. And I just had the goosebumps, and it was just, I didn't
Yeah.
feel heavy. I didn't feel threatened. It was
Sure.
just something was there watching us.
Yeah.
So that was like my first encounter, really, there at Graceland.
Nice.
Because I took more time to stop and look this trip, but because if you like, our tour, we did the planes, the house,
Yeah, so you have
all the
plan.
buildings, and they say it's like you could be there up to 4 hours. We were there almost 7 that
That's
day,
crazy.
going through stuff, and we still didn't get through all the buildings.
Really?
Yeah.
That's his airplane coming up on the screen here real quick here, and we'll go. And it has a lot of pictures from the airplane, which is pretty cool.
Whatever you bring up, I'll talk about it. And
Okay, you're not gonna like it. I'm just kidding.
here's one of his planes.
They had
the
multiple
Lisa
planes.
Marie.
I didn't know that.
I saw the Lisa Marie last time, but finally got to go through it this time.
Oops. I didn't mean to change that.
And you know, you hear that song about you put on your blue suede shoes and you
Yep.
board in the plane, and that just kept going through my mind.
Nice.
That plane felt like it went on forever. The inside of this picture was his smaller plane.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
With the other one, but they're both nice. Lisa Marie went on forever. Like you walked in, and there was all these nice chairs, and every seat belt was like gold plated
Oh, Jesus.
when you buckle it in.
Yeah. Is it the picture? Which one's that on screen?
That one
is that the
was
same
a
plane,
smaller
or-
plane. Yeah.
Even the seats. Is that the smaller
Yeah.
plane? Okay.
Yeah, even the seats on the smaller plane had the gold buckles, just like the
Jeez.
Lisa Marie did.
Let me see.
That one didn't have much to it,
Okay.
but
Is this the other one? Hang on, I'm getting it on the screen here. I mean, as far as the inside of the stuff, there's a bunch
Yeah.
of like chairs. I see.
the seats on the Lisa Marie had they looked like they were velour velvet
Okay,
type
this must be it then.
seats.
Because this is what I'm putting in now. Oops.
Yeah, some of them were like they had some like that, and then some with no tables there. They had some.
Big old couch.
They,
too.
a big purplish looking couch, and then once you got to the very back, there was a big queen size bed. in the back.
I figured there'd be a bed on that thing somewhere.
Um,
I'll have that too in just a second.
yeah, there's this big green couch with the gold buckles. Like all the seats had the gold buckles as well. I never thought they'd have a couch on a plane with like that. It just blew my mind.
Getting the bed pulled up here in just a second. I
It's a
think.
big couch, actually.
Uh-huh. And the picture makes it look little, but it was huge and
Yeah, a
big
couple
old
couches
bed.
on there. There's another couch coming up here too.
I couldn't believe the bed too, but then like towards the back of the plane, he had like a barber's chair, and usually a barber that would go and cut his hair on the plane and dye his hair, whatever needed to be done. But
Yeah.
I didn't have really anything happen on the planes.
No, you didn't. Bring some other stuff over because I know he has a TV up there, like a TV room.
Yeah, there was a couple different TVs.
He also
They
had
had
a big vanity. Looks like. Give me a second here. I'll get that pulled up here. Oh, I think this is on the airplane still.
yeah.
Nice TV.
I wonder if they watched The Price is Right or something.
Maybe. Not in the air, they didn't.
Probably not.
Is that part of the? There's a big vanity on there too. Is that part of the plane?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an area that back in there they had it closed off where they do his hair and different stuff. And they had a little bit, some of his clothes hung up in there that was kind of hard to see. And I think a shower back there from what I remember.
Sorry, my camera's being weird.
Oh, no, you're
They're
good.
talking about me, whatever, because I'm going to ICP concert.
Yeah,
'cause of-
whatever.
The one thing I thought was cool is you had a picture of is they still have Elvis's. This is back in the mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Elvis's keys,
Yes.
his actual keys to Graceland are on display, and it's coming up here in just a second. It'll be on the picture above Dan's head.
Yeah, they had this building on the back side of the mansion that was fairly big building that Elvis used to keep his gold records in.
Oh, I'll get that up here.
And that was one of the things. It had those are Elvis's original keys to get into the building.
Oh, that's
That's
for.
sweet.
Here's the records too coming up. Here's a couple.
Yeah, and that
Jeez.
they've moved the records from the original building to one of the new buildings. So they have a lot more room to display the records, and I didn't get to see any of the jumpsuits last time, but they had a lot
I'll get those too. 1 second.
on sale
On sale.
Sale? Sweet.
Buy one now, half price.
Right? I was surprised because since they built these new buildings,
Yeah.
they've got like shops all over the place.
Oh, really?
And there was some jumpsuits for sale,
That
but
one's really nice, Tiger.
those, yeah. Some of them, I like the tiger one, but some of them were almost like a little too.
The word
Gaudy.
they used earlier, I think it was Barb or somebody said, oh, it was Bree, said gaudy. That's the word I'm looking for.
I'm going with Gotti for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this cape he had on one of his episodes or one of his concerts.
Yeah.
Come up on the left side of the screen. Just all kinds of cool stuff.
Can you imagine how hot that might be?
Gonzo had one like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he a singer? Is that a singer?
Gonzo did sing.
Okay.
There's Andy performing with Elvis.
Sorry. I thought it was pretty neat. They had a little area of Elvis and like one of the presidents, and
Oh, really?
had like a black jumpsuit with a cape type thing. And
Nice.
yeah, that picture of me in front of the Elvis sign was one of the shops where they sold some of the jumpsuits. And
So-
some of the jumpsuits were like $500-$600.
Holy crap.
So you actually buy
Purchase.
his jumpsuits? Like his actual jumpsuits, or are
Not
they replicas?
his, but like
I was gonna
replica.
say they'd be a little bit more than $500-$600.
Yeah,
Shit.
they'd go for a lot more.
Yeah.
Bands,
Nah.
possibly. Yeah.
Um,
I meant to put this back. Hang on, I'm gonna put this on here. I thought this was funny. The drinks. This on the airplane. The old bottle of Gatorade looks like it's old. We'll just say.
pulls
It's
it.
old. Let's see.
It's on the left
Oh
side.
yes,
Oh,
that
dear.
was on the
Doesn't look
big.
drinkable. That's all I know that much. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh, good. That was on the Lisa Marie, and that,
Oh, that was?
some of the original bottles.
That's
I
That's
would
why-
not
yeah.
drink that.
I had to take
Nasty
a picture of
looking.
it because you don't normally see bottles like that anymore.
Oh no, those are the old school ones with the metal lid. You pop off in like a jar or whatever.
Charles, I was so sported. I tell you what.
I think you should get you one.
Well, hey, I did buy me a green screen suit. You know,
Oh, my God.
I did. You know, we talked about it last week, and
Yeah.
I was going to walk in here today with that sucker on there, and all you would see is my neck up. It's going to happen, but I didn't do it.
He's gonna surprise us and do that someday.
I will.
Coming up on the screen is also to the graves out in the back by the pool area kind of thing, where the Elvis is in the middle and his
Yes.
mom and he's on the right side. You said there's like three of them, isn't there? Three or
Yeah,
four.
well, he's in the middle. Like his mom died,
Yeah.
and she's first as you come around.
Uh huh.
The reflection area is on the back. There's like a little reflection pool behind his grave,
Yeah.
and then some room, and then his kidney-shaped swimming pool. And this is where I had my other experience because his mom is buried there, and then his dad Vernon, and then Elvis, and then his grandma Minnie Mae.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Minnie Mae, that's her name.
Yeah, and they have a
her
little
name.
plaque for Elvis's twin. That
Oh, that's right. He was a twin, wasn't
Yeah.
he? I forgot all about that.
we stopped
Yeah.
in Tupelo on the way home
Got those pictures too.
and went to his birthplace.
Mhm.
And his brother Jesse is actually buried in Tupelo
Oh, is he
next to
really?
his uncle.
Didn't know that.
But this trip to Graceland, nobody was there at the graves other than my mom and I. And
Wow.
I'd been there, so I was kind of letting her go
Sure.
from one grave to the next, reading everything on there. And that's Elvis's birth home where he was born in Tupelo,
Yeah.
Wow.
Mississippi, like a couple hours from Memphis.
That's crazy. He's,
Little like 2-room shack that his
Mhm.
dad built with his uncle, and
wow.
neat place.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple days after we left, tornadoes went through, but luckily nobody died, and that's
Nothing was damaged.
still standing.
Good.
At the grave, that was the only other place within Memphis that I had.
Yeah, you see another shadow? Is that what you saw? What did you
Yeah,
see?
saw the shadow down in the TV room.
Right.
And then as like my mom, we're standing there, and you know how you can kind of communicate in your head with spirits in a sense, and I was just kind of like thanking Elvis for like his music, and although he didn't have anything to do with opening up his home for people to tour it type of thing, but you know, I'm just kind of talking to him a little bit in my mind and thanking him for stuff. And
Sure.
it just, all of a sudden, I'd gotten goosebumps from head to toe. I got like real cold, and it was sunny out, 70 something. It was almost 80 degrees that day.
Jeez.
And like, all of a sudden, it felt like a hand on my shoulder.
Wow.
And it was there for like a minute or two, and I looked at my mom, and I like, she didn't even notice anything, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was Elvis there,
Makes sense.
putting his hand on me, like thanking me. I don't know what he was trying to say, but I just felt like he was there. But
That's so cool.
that was a pretty neat experience. And his grandson is basically on the other side of that pool, on the other side of his grave, in
That's where he's buried
a
at.
marble thing. Yeah.
Wow.
There is an extra spot, like where Elvis is. There's a grave to the left that you could see a little bit of in that picture, and then there was an open spot, and I figured that would be where his grandson was. But I'm wondering if, like, God forbid something happens to Lisa Marie, Elvis's daughter, I wonder if she's going to be buried there, maybe.
What about Priscilla? I mean, what were
I've wondered that too, if she'd be buried there, but
maybe she's in the family plot, maybe?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I know they were divorced
Yeah.
before, but their love for each other, maybe she will be.
Right. I had just read a story about her just the other day, that when she first saw Elvis, she was like 14, because she was 14 when they met, and he was over 20 or something. But anyways, she was appalled by him, not from first sight seeing him, but she saw him on TV. Like one of her cousins or friends or something saw him on TV and said, "Oh, look at him!" You know, like all the kids at that time, or the teenage people were at that time, were enamored with him. But anyways, she saw him, and he was doing his gyration, or he did something, and he's like, "Oh, that's disgusting," whatever. And then they met, and falling in love, of course. And
I wasn't like, I mean, I knew of Elvis, I knew some of his songs, because my grandma was a real big Elvis fan.
Yeah.
Saw him in concert.
That's crazy.
Threw things up on stage.
Whoa,
and different
hey-o.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know that happens.
You think I'm
Granny
crazy?
panties?
Maybe I get it from my grandma.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a minute, that was before she was a granny. I got you.
So I wasn't that big of an Elvis fan before I went the first time.
Yeah.
But like after going a couple of years ago, the first time, I wanted to know more about him. And I did read Priscilla's book that she'd written, and she was 12 or 13 when she first saw him. And her mom and stepdad, her stepdad was in the military.
Yes.
And that's how they kind of got introduced, from what I remember. And at 14, her parents sent her to Germany, where Elvis was in the service at the time. And so just reading certain things that she had written, I was blown away, because nowadays you don't think about sending your 14-year-old kid with some older man places. you know?
Yeah.
But I guess back then it wasn't like it.
It was a little bit not unheard of back then. I mean, younger people, you hear about younger people getting married that young back in the days and stuff. Because the life expectancy wasn't as long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not that recent.
Back then it was a little more traditional, I guess. Before my great-grandmother passed away, I asked her how old she was when she married my great-grandfather, and she said the day before her 12th birthday.
What?
Yeah,
Holy
I was
crap.
like, what?
That's way too
And
young.
it was before my great-grandfather went to World War II.
Oh, okay.
And I said, okay, so you got married the day before your 12th birthday, and my grandfather was their oldest child. I said, how old were you when you had Grandpa? And she goes, 15.
Jesus. It's too young.
jaw on the floor, like, wow.
Yeah. It's barely like a freshman, sophomore, or it would depend how old you are, freshman in high school.
Pretty much, and they didn't, like, back in those days, they didn't probably finish
Yeah.
school to help out on the farms
They
and
worked on
stuff.
they worked on the property. That's what my grandma told me too. She told me the same story about that age you had to work, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy. That's way too young. So,
And
so
that
you
was-
thought you saw a couple ghosts a couple times? You saw the one in the TV room. Did you see one else out by the patio or the reflection pool, or was it the cemetery?
I didn't
itself?
really see one there at the reflection pool. I just kind of felt it.
Oh, you felt it. Okay. Okay.
But I, like, in Nashville was my other experience.
Yeah, the cemeteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew, when I went to Nashville a couple years ago, I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do,
Mhm.
and I figured, okay, Nashville's 4 hours from Memphis, and we're driving 6 states in 5 days, and
Right.
we just had a whole lot planned. So we went from Memphis to Nashville and spent like 3 nights out there
Dang.
before going to Alabama to see my friend. And we were at Memphis Tuesday, Nashville that night. So it was Thursday was our last full day in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I wanted to go to different cemeteries in Nashville to pay respects to some of my favorite singers.
Sure.
And so I did a lot of research before going, writing down three or four different cemeteries that I wanted to go to,
Nice.
what graves I did want to go to.
Yep.
That way I had it all planned out.
Nice.
So I started out in Nashville at Woodlawn Roche Cemetery
Mm-hmm.
because George Jones buried
That's right.
there.
Hold up. That's funny.
Oh my
But
gosh.
keep talking.
Tammy Wynette, Van Stevens, that was in Blackhawk. Some of you may not be country
Did you say Blackhawk?
people.
Blackhawk,
I
yeah.
know the
Blackhawk.
band. I know of them. It's
Yeah.
not my type of music, but
Here's the backside of George Jones's
yeah, I pulled the wrong one up first. Sorry, my bad. Front one's coming up here.
area. There, George Jones had a big family plotted area.
From the backside, it kind of neat looking, but it looks like a guillotine.
Um,
Upside down. But,
Yeah.
you know.
The front one's coming up here on Dan's shoulder one time. at some point.
George Jones, the possum, and Tammy Wynette used to be married years ago and had lots of problems. But Tammy Wynette's buried at this cemetery, Woodlawn Roche. There's the front side, and it was pretty neat
Actual graves coming up here.
to visit.
There's actual headstones coming up here in just a second.
This particular cemetery was stretched over a mile on one side of the street, and then across the street was the same cemetery, another mile long.
Wow.
Jeez.
Mile long and probably half a mile in width. So there was quite a few graves, and I started out in the main part of the cemetery to go to George Jones and some others, and then
Yeah.
wanted to go to the mausoleum. And I went across the street to the other side because I'd went driving to go to the mausoleum, and the building where they usually host the funerals and stuff didn't look like it was big enough to have this 5-story mausoleum that I was wanting to go into. So I went on to the other side and went into the wrong mausoleum and didn't really have any experience there. So I went back across the street. And I knew that every grave that I wanted, here's Johnny Cash's.
Yep.
Johnny
My favorite.
Cash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Man in Black. I love
Uh-huh.
Johnny Cash.
I knew I had to go pay respect to the Man in Black because he's legendary.
I love
in my
Johnny Cash.
opinion.
That's about as country as I get. Is Johnny Cash. It's
Yeah,
pretty
oh,
country,
yeah.
but Johnny Cash is just a badass man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because like who doesn't know who Johnny Cash
Right.
is?
Yep.
That was, I had goosebumps standing there.
Right.
He's buried in Hendersonville, probably almost 15 minutes outside of Nashville. That was my second stop.
Yeah.
Good night, David. You have a good night.
Have a
Thanks
good
for coming
night,
through.
David.
And hello, Mr. Roth.
Mr.
Roth
Bobby
in the
Lee.
house,
Hey, what's
like
up, buddy?
Elvis.
Yep.
So yeah, Johnny Cash's was the second cemetery stop of the day. then I went to another cemetery and went to, I don't know if you guys heard of Montgomery Gentry.
Yep.
Oh, no.
One
David
of the guys,
Montgomery, hello. Just kidding.
right?
I know he is.
One of the guys in Montgomery Gentry was killed in
I
a
forgot about that.
helicopter crash.
That's right.
So I went and then come back to Nashville and went to one cemetery that Keith Whitley's buried at.
Oh, yeah.
Went to his grave, but the other experience I had was at that first cemetery where George Jones is, and I knew everybody that I wanted to pay respects to was up on the third floor on the left wing of that mausoleum.
Gotcha.
So I immediately went up the elevator to the third floor, walked around, got the pictures, paid my respects, like little Jimmy Dickens, Tammy Wynette, some people, and you would think, like, when I went to leave, you would think that I didn't pay attention when I got in the elevator going up to the third floor, but you would think going back down the first floor would be the main floor to get out of there.
Right.
So I got a little turned around coming down, and the first floor was actually the basement of it, where they did have graves. And so before I could even step off the elevator, it was just a very heavy feeling. And we've all been on investigations where we've had that heaviness.
Yeah.
But I've never felt a heaviness that dark, that heavy, that it just scared me a little bit. And even though, like, my mom stayed at the hotel that morning when I went to go to all the cemeteries, and she knew where I'd be, and I had my cell phone, but it just felt really odd to be down there by myself. Nobody knew. I mean, the gal in the mortuary knew I was somewhere within there, but as I was walking around trying to find my way out, I saw this plaque on the wall that said something about, it said Jesus' tomb.
Jesus's?
And I was just kind of like, and I don't think I got a picture of it that day, but I thought, it just kind of intrigued me. I thought, okay, I'm going to go see what that is. And there was this glass door that went into this big rocky area. And like, I opened that door and it was even heavier. And you would think, for being a replica of Jesus' actual tomb, that it wouldn't be, you would be more of a easy area type of thing, but it was even more heavy in that area. So I felt like something didn't want me in there.
Wow.
Something wanted me to leave. So I peeked my head in, and it was an actual replica of, like, where Jesus, what you see in the movies in like Jerusalem.
Why would it be in Nashville?
That's what I thought. I'm just like,
curious,
it was just really weird. And then, like, one big long wall of all these rocks, and then the left side was like a waterfall type thing, and it just was very eerie. And I thought, okay, this doesn't want me in here.
Right.
So I turned around, and before I could even get my hand off the door is where I saw this black figure. And I just stopped dead in my tracks, and my heart dropped. I was just like, oh my God. It was like that thing just stopped, was standing there in the hall where I would need to go to get out of there. And it just stood there. And it was probably like maybe 30 seconds, but it felt like a hell of a lot longer than that. And I felt like I couldn't move because that thing wasn't going to let me past it.
Interesting.
And finally it turned, and I watched it walk away and like dissipate, and then I booked it. I went back to the elevator, I went up to the second floor, and I left.
Is this coming up on the screen here, the Jesus tomb? I just grabbed it. It's that Woodlawn Research that you said?
Yes.
That's it?
You went through this glass door, and you looked to the right, and that was what Jesus' tomb was supposed to look like.
Huh.
So you didn't go in that door?
The what, I'm sorry?
You didn't go in that door?
No, the angel on the right, there was this wall and this glass door that you went into to go into the tomb.
Yeah.
That you can't see in that picture. And So I didn't go in there because it felt. I opened the door and started to take a step in there, but that heaviness took even more of a deeper feel than I've ever encountered before. So I felt like something was keeping me from going further.
That's crazy.
Or maybe it was trying to corner you to that area. That's why it stood behind you. Didn't want you to go back out. Maybe it wanted to push you in there.
That's
So,
what I wondered.
did you see anything down there? Any markers that you believe could be tied to that? Maybe.
I
Did
thought
it draw
about
to anything in
that.
there?
Because I looked at some of the names as I was trying to get back out of there to leave. But I can't remember all the names, but I was looking at the names thinking, I wonder if this person's buried down here and they're trying to warn me or
Yeah.
It's interesting.
protect me, or, I just had all these different things going through my mind.
Yeah. You just had an uneasy feeling, though. That's just that's strange. I don't
And
know
to
what that
have
could
the heavy feelings, because we've all talked about this
Yeah.
heavy, but I've never felt that heavy.
Not like that. Yeah.
be. Yeah.
That's why I wondered if maybe it was trying to protect me from something
Could be.
more malicious,
Sinner.
malevolent.
I'm just kidding.
Whatever, right?
I think about Tommy Boy. Sinner. That'd be amazing when we're up in contact right
Oh,
there.
you're good. You know we love you, Leo.
It's not you I'm worried about. It's the other things.
It's Dan you're worried about?
No, I'm teasing. Yeah, him in his sequin suit that's coming soon, apparently.
I guess I'm gonna get. Yeah.
Oh my God! The problem is the sad thing about it is I can see you wearing it. That's,
Yeah.
we'll have that next week, hopefully. It's like you had an interesting trip. I mean, you get to see a lot of cool things and stuff, and just some weird things. I was able to find. Go ahead, were you gonna say
I'm
something?
gonna say one thing she didn't do when she drove through there, because she drove right past it, which kind of angers me.
I know what you're
Because
gonna
she
say.
didn't.
Tell me now.
What?
The Bell Witch Cave.
Yeah.
I didn't what?
You drove right past the Bell Witch Cave and
I
you
knew you
didn't
were
stop
gonna say
and
that.
pay your tribute.
And I was doing so many tribute. Okay, next time, because I'm going to be doing it again.
Yeah.
And the Bell Witch Cave, was that
Okay.
between Nashville and Memphis? Or?
It's just north of Nashville, like 30 miles.
Okay.
So you would have driven right
That's
past it.
creepy.
Yeah, we did. I think I saw a sign for the. Yes, we did see a sign for the Bell Witch Cave.
Yeah.
Going from Nashville to where my friend lives in Alabama.
Yeah.
And I thought of you and Jake, because what you and Jake
Yeah.
went through it? Okay.
Yeah.
If I wasn't on a time constraint to get to Alabama,
No, yeah, you
because I had like a short time to see that friend that I hadn't got to see, but
You'll get there soon.
hey,
You'll get there next.
hey, team trip.
Team
you
trip.
go.
I just want you to bring your rock back.
You did or
No,
didn't?
don't do that. No.
I
didn't.
would. I've told myself for years, I would never take anything from an investigation.
I've only done it one time. I've never shared with you guys. I'll have to save it when Jason's here so it'll freak him out.
Yeah.
'Cause I have something.
Well, the Bell
Oh,
Witch
well.
Cave, of course, everybody that has taken a stone from that location
Has
has
had
had bad
things,
luck, so they've always returned it back or mailed it back to them.
Yep.
They get envelopes every day of rocks.
I've heard
wow.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story. We'll have to go back on that again and go back and revisit that. 'Cause
Yeah.
some of the viewers haven't seen what you guys caught when you were down there and
Oh,
stuff.
geez. Okay, we can do
Yeah.
that.
I did find some videos I found interesting. This has happened, things that happened from Graceland. Not from Andy's trip, but just over the years. I want you guys' take and the viewers' take on these. They're videos. Let me get them pulled up here real quick here. Not that one. Hang on. Hang on. Thought I was prepared and then this switched on me, so here we go. So these are all reported ghost sightings of Elvis himself. So, and this is all happening on Graceland's property, which makes sense. That's where he was. No bacon though.
No bacon? I smelled bacon earlier.
I want bacon.
You spelled it, or do you?
I smelt it, yeah.
Let me loop that. That went pretty quick actually. Let me loop that real fast here. I played real fast. I didn't realize I was going to play that fast. Okay. It's going a couple times here, people. I can pause it so we can see a little better. I'll wait till it stops. Hang on one second here. Okay, I'm gonna
Oh,
pause
I
it.
see his face. Wow.
So supposedly this is
the jungle room.
that what it is? I'm glad you were here
Yeah.
because I don't know what some of these were. I was gonna call it the parlor room, but you call it the jungle room. Why do you call it jungle room?
It's got trees and stuff.
The
in it.
Oh, I didn't know if
tree-
it was a theme. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, the tree. They had a
That
waterfall on
sounds
one
good, Charles.
side. The shack carpet. It was made more like a jungle room.
Wow. Now, I don't know. I hate to even. I'm always a skeptic, but I'm also always curious. I don't know. You visited this place.
Hmm.
Is it safe to assume there's Elvis pictures on the other side of the room?
The what? I'm sorry?
Is it safe to assume that there's Elvis's pictures hanging up on the other side of the room of this? Could it be a reflection off the window casting this picture?
Of a picture on the other side?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it looks like Elvis. Well, it is what it, I mean, yes, it's Elvis's Graceland mansion, whatever. But could it be just a reflection of sorts? You see a window
Like
bouncing
there
off.
is a window there, and there's no windows on either side to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this like the left side of that was another wall
Mm-hmm.
where he had a like waterfall built in, and then the right side had a staircase
Yeah.
going upstairs,
Okay.
and there wasn't really any room on either side to have pictures.
Interesting.
So I don't think it would. I firmly believe that it was not like a picture thing
That's-
through the window.
Definitely a 70s Elvis. I mean, he had the big sideburns,
Yeah.
receding hairline. I mean, you can see it all in that picture. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I just found it interesting.
I did meet a gentleman a couple, like maybe 7-8 years ago at the hospital
Mm-hmm.
when my mom was having surgery and his friend was having surgery, and he only had one arm. And he told me that it was like a farming accident when he was a kid. He lost over half the blood in his body before they got him
Oh,
to the hospital.
Okay.
So he had like an out-of-body experience
Okay.
where he'd went to heaven, and he'd never got to meet most of his grandparents or his great-grandparents and several other family members.
Mm-hmm.
And just what he described to me, even though he'd never seen pictures of his grandparents or great-grandparents, that short time that he was in heaven, he said that he automatically knew who his grandparents were, who his great-grandparents were, and all these other family members. And there was no way for him to know it, but everybody was younger versions of themselves.
Okay.
Say they were older when they died, they were younger, like 20s, 30s, something like that.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, just hearing that made me believe that, okay, say we're older or something, maybe we go back
Sure.
to a certain time. So maybe that reflection could have been
A younger Elvis.
younger Elvis.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I know everybody has different beliefs in what they think, but
Sure.
could
Yeah,
have
some people
been.
believe in ghosts, some people don't. So yeah, same thing. Yeah. So who's
There
to
was a
say?
lot more pictures of Elvis and stuff in, like, the dining room, their living room upstairs, and there was a lot more pictures downstairs. But that jungle room,
Mhm.
because even the couches had the jungle
Like that shack.
print
Yeah.
and stuff on them,
Mm-hmm.
and the big green shack carpet.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a couple more. There's 5 more here. We'll play the next one here.
Elvis hanging out with Tupac jamming.
You know it.
He is.
Like a mist
Yeah, and I'll
in a
show.
face.
I'll
I
pause it
see
again
it.
here.
Wow.
So, on screen, he'll pause here in just a second.
Much younger, thinner Elvis.
I mean, it kind of looks like Elvis, but then it kind of doesn't.
Well, then you look to his left, his left, our right.
Yeah.
And you see what looks like maybe Priscilla or somebody.
Well, that's funny you said it because later on there's another picture like that.
Really?
Or another supposedly ghost image of him that maybe another female in there, and I have it outlined here. But this one, I mean, you can see a picture of something. Does that look like Elvis? Eh.
Further back
Kinda?
it did. When you get on top of it, no.
I mean,
But-
that's like just a dude.
Well, actually, I sent you a picture on Cryptic.
Oh, you sent that to me? Okay, I saw you sent something, but go ahead.
It's my only claim to fame as far as Elvis. One of my best buddies, his dad, actually he was in the military with Elvis.
Yeah.
And played music with Elvis in the 50s, and then of course wrote letters back and forth until he's passing, and he was actually best friends with the Colonel for years after that as well.
To the Colonel, I'm hungry.
Elvis' manager.
Yeah.
Oh, not Colonel Sanders?
No.
Obviously.
But, no.
There's a picture Dan's referring to.
Yeah, my buddy. His father's sake name, his name is Jack Frederick, and his dad was Jack D. Frederick, but you'll see the pictures.
Yeah, it's coming.
But that's Elvis right there on the right, of course, and that's Jack Frederick. He's right there. He's the ginger right there staring back at Elvis. Yeah.
It's black and white. You can't tell that.
Oh, yeah, I know. But yeah, no, that was 50. I'd have to remember 54 or 5 when that picture was taken.
Yeah.
Over in Germany.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah. Very young Elvis right there.
Nice.
He almost looks high.
I
I
He
don't
was
know.
military, so maybe.
But yeah.
That's
No,
cool.
and looking at that hairstyle there, and then that
Yeah.
last picture there,
Greased and.
there's a little bit of resemblance in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says reflection. That's what I was asking Andy earlier about the pictures and stuff, or not the pictures, but is there reflecting pictures in the room that it can be reflecting
Yeah.
off of? Because
Yeah.
there's some more of those. I'll play some here in a minute.
And I don't.
Go ahead, sorry.
That last one you had up from far away, it kind of looked like him, but
Yeah.
up close, I didn't think it was
either.
looked like him.
This one is, I think, is outside on the property. It's in the trees. It's coming up here in just a second.
We'll have to talk after.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Got some things to tell you,
Okay.
Elvis wise.
Yeah.
So once again, this is outside. I think in some of the trees.
Well.
I mean, once again, it's like a dude,
It's possible,
or is it just paragraph?
like the dark black hair, because I know he dyed his hair a lot,
Yeah.
but the sideburns aren't that long either.
Yeah.
But again, he didn't always.
But look at that nose. That nose almost looks more white and different.
Whoa.
Well, again, it's matrixed through the trees
Yeah.
and the lights. But does it look Elvis-ish? Sure, it looks like
Of
he's
course
looking
it does,
downwards.
Yeah.
But
But then it doesn't. I mean, it's just
But
like
again,
I'm on the
yeah.
fence, walking that line, whatever. It's just like I don't know. Is
he
it just
never
my
said
eyes
like
playing
that.
tricks on me? Maybe. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. I don't know.
It could be
Yeah.
Bigfoot. I can get you there.
I'm on the
Bigfoot.
fence on that one.
Let's
No,
go more
but
here.
yeah.
We'll play.
I don't know if Elvis is in that tree or not.
That's really good matrixing that, yes. Could I say it's Elvis? Man, give me a drink or two and I might say it is, but
A couple more here we'll play. This one is a reflection of a window again. This is where I get real question. Is it a reflection from the inside or outside? This is actually from the outside looking in. Play it through a couple times and I'll stop it here. I'll just play one. This one's kind of a longer one, so I'll just stop it. This looks more like Elvis, sort of. So
Yeah, the bone features, like the cheek features, kind of
Mhm.
does.
You can see kind of a white. Was there a white picket fence anywhere out there?
Yes, by
Okay.
the stables where they had all the
Oh, you
horses.
just say stables, yeah. So, yes, I can see that without having a full 360 picture of everything who's out there, everybody out there. I mean, who knows if it's just a dude out there. But
Yeah.
this is off the one of the windows. They supposedly caught this apparition of Elvis. I don't know.
Very possible because there was some ground level windows
Crow.
back by the white, opposite of the white picket fence.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically you came out by the jungle room door, down a sidewalk to where
Right.
Vernon's office was,
Yeah.
where they used to shoot their guns. You come out of that, and then there's the long white picket fence
Oh, gotcha.
that kind of spanned from the edge of the one building down to the reflection pond
Mhm.
that the horses could come up, and the stables were a good half-mile away.
Nice. Yeah. No, I don't know about that one. I mean, like I said, yeah, I can see a guy in there. I don't know if it's Elvis. I don't know if it's a person on the ground. I don't know if it's a ghost. I mean, who knows? It's
Well, like Carl states, I mean,
John Lennon.
yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Elvis has a more defined chin, thicker chin. This guy here's got
But does
that.
Ghost Elvis have it?
True
It
that.
almost
True
looks
that.
like one of them heads on a stick that you see at like hockey games and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, more
But-
2D versus 3D. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's some better ones coming up here. Let's get to the
Alright.
next ones here. Real quick here. Let me get, getting towards the end of the show, but let me see which one's next here I want to play. We'll go this one first. All right.
All right.
This is
alright.
this is the one I'm telling you about. It looks like a female along with Elvis.
Okay.
I don't know what it is supposed to be, but
I
I circled what I think is supposed to be Elvis in the picture. I don't think it looks like Elvis at all. There's a person next to her. I'll pause it here and just after a couple plays. So this is what I think they're referring to. I can see a guy with it kind of looks Elvis-like, but not 100%. So let me stop it if I can get it fast enough. Oh, I didn't get it fast enough. Dang it! Let me rewind it a little bit. There we go. So I see a reflection of a girl and a guy. Hold on,
Just the legs on what would be the guy almost look like long, skinny legs.
But if you look at this picture on this Frozen, I see the girl to the left. Doesn't look like. I mean, to me, it doesn't look like at least what's her name, sorry, Priscilla or anybody like that,
Yeah.
or Lisa Marie. I don't know what his mom looked like or anybody else.
Look like
Herman
Herman Munster.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's a hard to read one. I mean, you
Yeah.
can see it's
Yeah.
pixelated. You can see the faces, but
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just nature scene, pareidolia, all that fun stuff.
looks
or
like
it's truly
night before Christmas Legos.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of spooky looking.
And if that is within the mansion or the grounds, it's possible it could be his mom or his grandmother
right.
if it is
a younger
female.
version of him, maybe, or even.
Because his mother passed before he did, and his father passed after Elvis did.
Yeah.
And originally his mom was buried in the cemetery in town,
Oh,
but then they were able to move her
that was weird.
to the property. And then after his grandmother passed, she was buried there.
Gotcha.
So the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was a warlock.
he was.
A couple more here we'll play. Which route do I want? We'll go this one first because this one's obvious. I mean, it's definitely Elvis, but is it a ghost? Is the picture? Y'all be the judge. I mean, it's definitely Elvis. I would feel. I was strong.
Oh, to me, that the forehead, the lips,
hairline.
Definitely
the
young
hair,
Elvis,
how
yes.
it comes up,
But
screams.
you think you'd say it is him?
I
Andy?
think so.
Thing is, though, to me, it's from the outside looking in, and it looks behind. It looks like
Yeah.
it's behind some kind of like curtain or something, whatever. Now, is it just once again a cutout, a picture, or something of sorts that's reflecting? And I caught a ghost of Elvis. Well, you caught Elvis's
Image.
image. Is it a ghost? Is the question. It's not see-through. It's not transparent. It looks more
And the
fake.
glass looks like
Staged.
the embezzled glass.
Yeah.
Or beveled, or
Beveled,
however it's
uh-huh.
called.
Embezzles when you steal money from a company.
Oh, right.
I did.
Beveled is what's curvature.
Embeveled or.
Beveled. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a picture of Elvis. I would definitely say that's Elvis, but Ghost.
Yeah.
Elvis.
I don't know that I would necessarily think it's his ghost.
You're right.
Like it could be, a reflection of a picture because but it depends on what window that was caught in,
They
too.
don't say. It just says a picture.
Yeah.
I
To me,
say
go ahead.
somebody's walking around inside with
Yeah.
a cardboard cutout, and this guy sitting there taking pictures
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time, so they can say, "Hey, look what we caught."
As far
Yeah,
as I know,
'cause-
it's Kevin McAllister on Home Alone. With the cutouts and
Right,
trying to
exactly.
You're a Joe
Yeah.
Pesci and what's his name?
Yeah.
We're home.
Kidding.
And that could very well be because a lot of the pictures that I saw in the different buildings in Graceland Mansion itself
Mm-hmm.
was of him like that with the hair
Yeah.
coming up and like the strong chin and cheekbones that were undeniable
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
That
was-
looked more like him than most.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is a picture
Yeah.
of him, but whether it's a ghost image or
Yeah.
not caught on camera, I want to see
I think
more
that
evidence.
was probably somebody playing a joke, but
Yeah, or
maybe we'll
purposely
find out
staged
someday.
Even
Yeah.
staged on purpose for a reason. You know, I gotta
He'll
find
be
a ghost.
slapping me in the face when I go up to heaven and say, "Hey, dude, what was that?" I'm like, that was me.
yeah, he'll be doing that to all three of
And
us.
stay away
Yeah.
from my bacon. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll never be allowed at Graceland again.
This last one was actually caught on the grounds of the mansion. I'll just play it.
Okay.
Or will we? No, here we go. And I'll pause it when it's close again. Of course, as you zoom in, it's going to get blurry, of course. Because that's what happens.
Okay, I think I've seen this one before.
You have seen this one before?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to pause a couple times. Okay, this is as it zooms in. And that was where I heard a voice in here. It wasn't Elvis's voice. It was
Elvis
David's.
Presley wearing a mask.
So, yes, there's something there. Maybe what it is, I don't know.
Maybe it was Elvis week and it was John Stamos.
I'll say
Wait.
that's a lot of hair for Elvis.
Yeah.
No, but it's a ghost. It's far
True that.
away. I don't know. Yes, it's blurry because it's pixelated. And
I'm thinking the white and kind of that same Elvis-y hairdo at one point, but it could have, like, when we were there wasn't that many people.
Mm-hmm.
It was a weekday, but the maintenance yard crew was there working,
Sure.
and they had some white on. I mean,
Do they dress like Elvis when they work too? Or
no,
just
but
asking?
they had, like, one of them had an Elvis shirt on, but some of them had a white shirt on.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's Michael Jackson because it looks like he has a mask on.
Charles, that is not Ron Jeremy.
I saw that too.
And Michael Jackson was his son-in-law at one point.
That is true. You know, there's
That's true.
There's a video of Michael Jackson supposedly caught in Neverland Ranch
Oh yeah.
by a TV crew who was touring the place after he moved out and stuff like that, and he's been dead obviously. I've seen the video of it. I'll have to play that sometime.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I know Jason wanted to go through like conspiracy theories of
Yeah.
Elvis and
We'll have to bring that. I can play it now. Wait till next time. So, but yeah, I don't know. Some of those pictures. I mean, yes, some look like Elvis, some don't.
Yeah.
Without having more of a backstory on them. I mean, like being there and quizzing the people and okay, tell me what's going on. It could be staged. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
It could be reflections. It could be this. It could be that. But
that's one hard part is not knowing. Just like some of the paranormal groups on Facebook,
yeah,
people are always posting pictures like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I just took this at my house. This is my kitchen. What do you think?"
yeah,
And I mean, most of the time you can tell, like we've talked about
yeah.
off our show, like you could tell it's staged, and other
Sure.
things it's like Matrix setup, and some things like makes you think, oh, maybe this wasn't.
Right.
Sorry,
You still have
Charles.
that- you still have that Charles film? I know. I know too. I was laughing at it too. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm always going to err on the side of caution just on some of this stuff, just because I can't speak for everybody else's evidence
Yeah.
they put out or whatever. But I know we can speak for ours, and even then, people are should do the same thing to us. Well, what makes yours real, and what makes it not real, kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
I just tell you, what we capture in the moment is what we present as evidence. For me to put it out there as evidence, it has to be 100%.
Yeah. I agree with that.
unedited to not contaminated to you name it. I mean, I'm very cautious because that's our name on it. I don't want to be made fun of
Yeah.
for that group is full of shit. Because there's groups out there that will do that. That we know of that do that. Not personally, but we know some personal groups that do that too.
I feel like you do, like, even though we're all a team and we communicate, I feel like you do, because I'd rather it's not just one person's name on the line putting that out there. It's
Yeah.
like everybody's, but at least we care about each other enough to be like, hey, let's look into that. Or
Yeah.
I'm glad that we can debunk things and
Yeah.
Right.
make it that much more credible that way.
I can see that, Bree. She looks like graffiti, which is funny you say that because Banksy does a lot of that stuff, repaints it a stencil, and it's black and white like that, and it looks like that last picture of Elvis on the side of the building. Of course, nobody's painting, hopefully, Elvis's picture out there, but you never know.
Or maybe they taped it up in the window or just had it in there or something.
Yeah. So, no, she's talking about the one on the side
on
of the
the
building.
wall.
We
Yeah.
talked about the workers wearing Elvis white shirts, but I don't know. There's some stuff. There's more videos and pictures, stuff like that out there, supposedly Elvis. I mean, hell, they still see him walking around in real life, allegedly, so.
Yeah, because I've seen this picture of this older guy that I don't know if it was photoshopped of him at the mansion, like walking around outside,
Right.
and supposedly going in and out, and it resembled Elvis, but I mean, how his grandson resembled him,
Yeah.
but
Was it young Elvis or was it old?
it was an
Elvis?
older
Oh,
gentleman,
okay, I was gonna say, 'cause
and
it
that's
should be-
floated around several times
should
in
be
the
way
last
older
couple
right
of
now.
years. And
They built, what year? 36? I can't remember what year he's born. What year was he born?
I was going to pull that up to see how old he was. He was born in 1935. Okay.
35.
I thought it was 30.
36. Yeah.
Died in 1977.
yeah, August of '77.
Yep.
Yeah, my mother
So-
had concert tickets. Yeah.
What'd you say?
My mother had concert
Oh, this
tickets.
said you went to a concert. I'm like, I knew
No,
you were
no,
old,
no.
Dan,
I was
but
only
damn.
7 years old, 6 years old.
Damn, Dan.
I was old. I was old then.
Have you ever stopped and wondered if some of your favorite singers that have passed on, wouldn't it be cool to still see them today, like go out and sing?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that passed away that I was supposed to go watch them, and I didn't go, and then they died. I'm like, son of a bitch. Why didn't I go?
then you kick yourself in the ass?
Oh, I still
Yeah.
to this day, yeah. There's 2 or 3 of those that has happened. He would be 85 as of right now.
Yeah.
Elvis would be. So, I mean,
He'd still be kicking
yeah,
as long as he stayed off the bacon.
that's hard. You can't stop bacon.
Right, that's true.
So, what do you guys think? Is Elvis live or dead?
Did he die in 77? No.
Why not?
Why?
Yeah.
He had so much going on. He really did. He was having anxiety issues going back out on stage. He was having such a hard time there with
Right.
his drug abuse. He was taking so many drugs to stay awake
Right.
and to perform and to do what his fans and his managers needed him to do.
Mhm.
He was burned out.
So you
He
think
needed a
faked
way
his own
out.
death?
I think he did.
So how do you keep him so hush hush? I know times were different back then, so it made it a little bit easier in '77. But how do you think he kept it hush hush for so long? I'm just curious. That's a lot of people you got to keep on the payroll to say you don't see me here.
20, 25 years of that time I can see easily done. You hit the 90s, maybe. Things were a little harder for him to do. But,
Sure.
you keep your close family together. I mean, and he still had most of them people on payroll,
Yeah.
even after his death.
Yeah.
Think
you know.
about how much money, like Priscilla opened the mansion and stuff in 1982, I believe, for tours, and he's still selling records. He's still selling memorabilia.
Right. Well,
Like,
Tupac's still releasing music
It was
too.
$75
Michael
for
Jackson.
our tour of the mansion and
Yeah.
the grounds, everything that we did that day.
You can buy a lot of bacon,
and-
a lot of pills. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding around.
right?
I don't really think that. I was
No.
just being stupid. Sorry.
So I agree with Dan because
Yeah.
he's made so much more money after
Right.
he supposedly died.
Yep.
It's funny you said he would be 85 this year. My grandpa died that February 77, and then Elvis died in August.
Yeah.
My grandpa's birthday was last week, and he would have been 80.
Yeah.
Funny they both died around the same time, but
Nothing funny
I
about
feel
that,
like
Andy.
I feel like he didn't really die. That was like a hoax, and that even though they didn't open up Graceland until
Yeah.
'82 for people to tour it, that
Sure.
and you still all these years later can't go upstairs.
Yeah.
That maybe
Part of the conspiracy.
he still lived
Right.
up there up until he really did die,
Sure.
and then maybe they closed
Yeah.
it down and then buried him and had a private funeral and all that
Right.
stuff. But I feel like he had enough money to keep people on the payroll to keep their mouth shut.
I don't know don't know, man.
It'd be a lot to do.
That'd be a lot of
It's
money.
a lot of work, you know.
Everybody has a price.
Especially if his
Yeah.
dad was behind it. I feel like
Sure, yeah.
to make most people believe that he was gone, but only a select few. Because people did, like, his aunt lived in the house, his dad lived in the house, up until, his dad didn't necessarily die at Graceland, but I feel like, maybe he lived to maybe his 50s, 40s.
Sure.
We may never know till we get to heaven. I don't know, but
Right.
or whatever you believe, but
Right.
I feel like he did live a little bit longer, but he did have a lot of health issues that he had to probably work through, and maybe that ultimately took him sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
But
So what do you think there's been over the years? And now you don't hear as much as you used to, but I know when I was younger, you heard so much of sightings of him everywhere. What's that about? Is it his doppelganger? Is it just a look-alike coincidentally? Because, I mean, people impersonate their heroes or whatever, And,
Yeah.
could be.
I mean, I had a guy in high school that we called Elvis because he
Look like him,
Yeah.
acted like him. He sang like him. He would
impersonate him.
just, everyday life. So that's why his nickname Elvis. So it's just like, so be it. You do you, man.
Yeah, you got to think about Elvis. I mean, the guy was a world traveler. He did so much in this world. He went everywhere. He was Hawaii, Germany, and Japan. I mean, he traveled everywhere for his concerts. And again, his life, he lived so much life in such a short time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the drugs he had to take just to sit there and survive.
Right.
Well, he's not going to live on the second floor of a mansion that's probably 10,000 square feet the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So yeah, why couldn't you see him in San Diego and in
Change your name.
California?
Maybe.
Yeah, come up with somebody else. Now the theory that the one they had a few years ago, they had the guy that's walking the streets of L.A. and he was a bum
Yeah.
that looked like Elvis. I don't see him sleeping on the streets when he has all that money, but maybe dementia might have got to him with all the drugs. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's a rumor that Michael Jackson didn't die. And
Right.
there's supposedly a video of him, and I've seen it. I don't know if I buy into it, of him walking out of the ambulance.
well, you got to think about the same thing. That guy had so much stuff going on right now, especially with Neverland and the Macaulay and all the kids that he
all the
supposedly.
accusations, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
things do
Why not die?
Why
I
not
mean,
fake your death? And yeah, for
Exactly.
sure. Same thing with Tupac. They thought he faked his death because he was saying for years he was going to do it, and then he was one of his last albums he brought out well after his death. He was talking about Machiavelli. And that's the 7-day theory where you die in 7 days, whatever. This guy Machiavelli faked his death allegedly, or whatever, and you go by the moniker of Machiavelli, and after you come out, you have the album out, Machiavelli, and he died 7 days later after he was shot. And I mean, it just adds to the conspiracy. There's been sightings all over New York to Cuba to you name it, of this supposedly Vegas to see this guy. And
the thing is, okay, at such a young, he was, I can't remember what his 20. I don't know.
who, Tupac?
Yeah,
Is he 20?
27?
I saw him in
7?
Vegas downtown.
I think he was 27
Oh.
when he died.
Well, not
After or before?
after his death. It
You
was
saw
some
him?
guy dressed
Oh.
like him. Because people down in Vegas now charge you. There was like
For
a
photos.
guy
Everywhere.
dressed as
LA
Vern
does it too.
Troyer, and
He was 27.
Yeah.
they make money for pictures with him,
Yeah.
type of thing.
We talked about, not that, we talked about, there's the big conspiracy about the 27 Club, which we talked about like on our 5th episode of Crypto Hardly Ever, before you guys ever were part of the mix. We can go back and revisit that, because there's so many people that have died at age 27 that are famous, and
What, Amy Winehouse and
John Lennon to Jimi Hendrix to Kurt Cobain to,
Right,
this
27 is the
list
number.
is humongous. Some of them, they think they faked their deaths or whatever, and was Tupac 27? Maybe I looked at that wrong. Anyways, but there's quite a few of them. I know for sure Lennon, and coincidentally, we know Lennon's dead. I mean, but
Yeah.
was Lennon 27? No, he wasn't 27. Was he 27? Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Anyway, I know Kurt Cobain's part of it. Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin is 27.
There's a lot of them that were part of that.
Yeah.
I pulled up a picture and they just had all these names here. That's why I thought about 27 Club. They're just dead people.
But yeah, I mean, again, we'll go back to Tupac. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude already had like 11 albums out before he died.
Yeah.
And they're finding hundreds of songs that he had.
Well, supposedly he spent hours upon hours in the studio, and they're
Yeah,
just piecing them together.
I can see that.
Which
but
is possible. But there's also one of the biggest things, and we can go on for hours about conspiracies, especially about him, was, of course, he died. Had a video. Yeah, Machiavelli album came out. He released a video for one of his songs off of there, and he was wearing the newest Air Jordans that were never released yet.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Which, when you're rich, you get those connections.
Yeah.
I mean, so I could say, whatever, but maybe. I mean,
Right.
maybe. You never know.
And if you have enough money,
Yeah,
you could pay
That's weird.
people to
Yeah.
do
Somebody said,
certain
yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I don't
Money
know.
talks. But
I've been following these conspiracies for years on all these celebrities just for fun.
Yeah.
And because some of them I like, whatever, and stuff. And it's crazy. There's the whole thing about Kurt Cobain being murdered versus, I mean, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Instead of suicide. We'll definitely get back into that, and maybe on a different episode. Maybe next week. We'll see if we can uncover some of that stuff. Sorry, that's my chair that moved.
Okay,
That
yeah,
noise.
that's what I heard.
I'm not farting. It's my chair.
Good,
trust me.
good.
Anyways, so yeah, no, that's fun. That was I never thought about the whole Elvis thing. I mean, I thought about it, obviously, but I just never thought to ask you guys what your thoughts on that was, if he's alive or not. So, very cool, guys. Well, it's way past the show's ending, which is fine. We don't really have a cutoff. We just go till we're done. So
Yeah.
but a lot of us have to work tomorrow, so we're
Yeah.
gonna give it a night and call it a night. We should be back this next couple of weekend. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. If we decide not to, for some reason, we'll let you guys know well in advance. But otherwise, I plan on being here. So we'll see who else will be joining me.
I may be up north, but I'll let you know beforehand.
That's cool.
For sure.
We'll figure something out. So
Well, real quick, everybody, May 26th, full moon, full blood moon, a big shift change in the energies. So, rumor is there's going to be some major news as far as things happening in the world that you're supposed to be distracted and worrisome. Try not to sit there and worry. Of course, I mean, hey,
as you get them all worried now because they're like, I didn't know that. Oh shit, the end of the world's happening again.
yeah, just go read on this stuff.
Thanks,
May
Dan.
26th. So yeah, just that's 3 days away.
Yes, Bree, I think you're right. I thought he was 25. I think that was right. Sorry.
Oh,
Tupac, not Elvis.
Tupac. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, May 26th. Just look at it again. Blood moon.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
And again, as far as astrological things, there's a big shift change in it. And on the Aztec calendar too. So there's some stuff going down. So watch out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I worry about other stuff every day. I don't got time
Exactly.
to worry about blood moon.
Yeah, I'll wake up on the 27th and it'll be fine. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Yeah, no anger. Exactly, yeah. And caffeine.
Dan's freaking our guest out. Some of them are starting to have nothing to worry about. Now they're going to be worried.
Sorry, Charles. Drink all the caffeine you want to. Yeah.
Nah, but seriously, all good. Thank you guys for tuning in this evening. Once again, this has been Cryptic Heartland, episode number 140. Talking about everything from Bigfoot to UFOs to ghosts to Graceland to Dan scaring people
And bacon.
and bacon. God, I'm hungry
Yeah.
as hell now. Now I want bacon. Thanks, guys.
Go home and make you some bacon.
Hell yeah, sounds good to me. So, but no, we'll be back next week with an all brand new episode of Cryptic Heartland. And once again, I'm Leo, one of the hosts. We got Andy and Dan.
Thank y'all.
Dan.
See you guys next
Have a
week.
good day.
Good
Bye-bye.
day. This guy, it's good night.
Good night and good life.
That's right. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.